I'm glad the peanuts are on the ball. I didn't notice we had to go. That was 9 o'clock here.
Oh yeah, press play, Terry.
Sorry, you the sphere beats Flat Earth Day, Gary. Should finish the conversation off with Gary that we were having over on Jose's the other day.
Ah,
Well,
there he is.
here's Paul.
Here's Paul.
You got it or you got it? Am I got it?
No, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, I'll let him in. There he is.
Is he? Everyone muted over there. Put your hand up if you're not here. You here, Paul?
I am.
Well, don't put your hand
And
up
his
then.
chickens are too.
Oh, I didn't put my hand up.
There. Farmer did. Alan did.
Hands up. Hey.
I didn't, but you can't tell.
Come out with your hands up and your trousers down.
RT said that's what we get paid for, and he goes, "Oh wait."
What? People are getting paid for this. I'll put the invoice in.
What's?
God, I'm looking forward to putting
Sean
this
said
week's invoice
something
in.
earlier. What did he say earlier? Hour and a half, flat side, and in the back of a record rack, there's an old double stack, 10 inches in black, with an old crumpled cover, and every track is stacked. You got any idea what he's talking about?
I presume it's a song, but I'm not familiar with it. It doesn't ring any bells.
That's unusual for you.
I don't know the words to every single song ever written.
Fleetwood Mac.
Just like 95% of them.
Well, if they're from a
All
certain
Pink
genre.
Floyd, right?
Pink Floyd, my memory's pretty
I mean,
good.
if it's off Dark Side, I know it, but who doesn't?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my head is full of such useless information as being able to write to the scripts of every Monty Python film from memory.
Okay,
Nice.
what's the first opening line?
Which one?
Of which one?
Oh, okay. Holy Grail.
The very first word spoken in the film.
Yeah.
Trying to remember now. I'm sure it's King Arthur. And it might even be something like Woe Patsy. Oh, God.
Okay.
Close.
I thought it was God that started
Nope.
speaking.
Because once you get through all the weird intro, because you've got all the weird intro and everything, once the film actually starts, because this was the first Monty Python film I ever saw, and it was the first VHS video I ever rented. I remember on a Saturday night, parents are going out, I stuck this thing in, and you hear the clip clop, and I thought, no, it's not going to be.
And the first line is Arthur saying, "Whoa there."
Yeah. Whoa there, Patsy. And of course, there's and that was it. I was on the floor pissing myself because I thought it's going to be a bloke with 2 empty arms of coconuts, isn't it? And of course, it was.
It was.
And for very good reasons. They couldn't afford the horses.
Yep.
What the horses weren't in the union.
No, they shot the Holy Grail was shot on such a shoestring budget that they realised they couldn't afford to have horses. So somebody said, "Well, why don't you just have somebody with 2 empty arms of coconuts bang them together to get the clip clop sound?" And thus the legend was born. You know,
And it made it more funny anyway.
Exactly. It's so much funnier than actually having some Herbert sat on the horse is to have somebody pretending to be a horse and going clippity clop, clippity clop. It works, you know.
Yeah.
But
that wasn't such
intended.
a classically Monty Python.
Yeah, But it was accidental. They realised they couldn't afford to have horses on set. So it was like, well, okay, what else can we do?
Somebody's saying Camelot out there.
Oh no, that was much further into the film.
Oh.
Because that's when they all stand and go, "Oh, Camelot!" And Matey Boy goes, "It's only a model," because it was a painted cardboard cutout.
Farmers have sent your link.
Microraptor says, Farmer's Boy, they could afford one horse.
Well, yeah, but that just makes it even worse. Who gets the horse? I suppose King Arthur did. Oh, that's right, because that launches into the whole,
Swallows
and are you suggesting coconuts migrate? Yeah. A swallow and a plover may fly south from the winter, but these are no strangers to our lands. Are you suggesting coconuts migrate? Just nice.
9 o'clock here.
Not at all. They could be carried.
Held under the dorsal guiding feathers.
9 o'clock says, I hate it when the artist gets the words of the song I'm singing wrong. Oh, Sean said the song was To the Bone by the Kinks.
The Kinks.
Okay.
I thought I had the Kinks in my collection. Let me just boot it up and have a look. The Kinks. Oh, I've got the Kinks.
No, Sean, I don't think Gary's figured out that yet. I think he knows how to spell it, but that's about it.
To the bone, to the bone, to the bone.
And if he's listening out there, he can always join the show and have a chat.
Oh, that's a disappointment. I have the Kinks, the Ultimate Collection. Not in there.
Oh. Well, it's not an Ultimate Collection then.
Well, it's the Ultimate Collection of whoever decided to select tracks for the album, yeah.
Microraptor, I have many Kinks in my collection.
Not necessarily. Okay, yeah.
I might believe that of her.
Yeah, we'll let's leave that one there, shall we? We'll take a drink.
The phrase "one horse town" was coined because of the play Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Tom's Cabin. Yeah. Oh God, who did Uncle Tom's Cabin? That's a song.
No, I'm not well versed in that era.
It's bugging me because they play it on Planet Rock an awful lot.
Yeah.
Warrant.
Thank you. That's it. Warrant. I couldn't remember. Yeah, you'll hear some. You'll get Warrant and you'll get Fog Hat. They crop up every now and then. Slow Ride.
Yep.
To be played in time with flushing your toilet.
James C. Larson, no kink shaming, please.
There's no shaming Kinks. What?
Not wrong with the Kinks.
Okay, what they couldn't afford to travel with horses, so they used horses of the town they performed in. If the town was very small, they only had one horse to use.
Ah, right. Hence one horse town, because the town's only got one horse. Yeah. Fred, how can you compare Planet Rock to Radio 4? Oh, well, Terry, here we are.
Yeah, we're here.
Indeed.
What have we got? I was waiting for Paul to turn back up.
Where'd Paul go?
He disappeared. He dropped from over there and over here and over there.
He dropped.
Yes, yeah.
He was dropping out on Saturday as well, wasn't he? Did he vanished on Saturday.
Does his internet have a bit of a?
Yes, he was having similar problems to yourself, I believe.
Oh, no, you can't have similar problems to me.
Hang about.
Mine wasn't even plugged in.
Why doesn't the internet work? Have you tried plugging it in?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, but not in your house.
I wish he'd
in the
give me a copy of the image of the shit, I forget
Unplugged
the name.
plug.
The bank of wires that's on the server thing. The exchange.
Yeah. Spot which one is yours. Yeah, it's the one that's not plugged in.
Yeah, you can see the actual light coming through the end of the fibre optic connection.
Really?
Yeah.
No, at least you
And
actually
he said, which one's yours? Guess which one's yours is? And I said, well, what's that one with the light on it? That you can see it
that's
sticking out. And all white, and you can see all the other connections all plugged in around it.
Yeah, he's a lucky bugger. By the time they got around to putting NBN in here, they'd given up on fibre completely. But just repurposed the old
Copper.
cable. Yeah.
Microraptor. In this stream, Terry deletes the internet.
Really cross, quick, back up. Office I used to work in, whenever you heard thunder, everybody automatically went, oh, quick, autosave. Because that building was just prone. If there was a thunderstorm around, we knew we'd get a power cut.
Oh,
And
there
the
you go.
first
I
clap of thunder,
just got
everybody-
I just got the notification that I'm live.
Oh, that's good to know in case you'd missed that you were indeed
Right,
live.
okay.
Alive.
Okay.
Sorry, live.
Well, I better go over there and have a look. See what's happening.
Oh, yeah, say hi to everybody for us.
Yeah, I will when I get there.
And I haven't even had any more of that rather delicious vodka that my mate sent me yet. It's quite good. I made a post on Facebook. I think the day after my birthday, thanking everybody for all the very nice sort of greetings and whatever, and said, yes, as it was my birthday, I actually drank some of my precious reserve of toffee vodka. And a mate of mine I haven't seen in years, but we sort of keep up on Facebook. He sent me a message and says, look, I've started this company doing sort of flavored rum, gin, and vodka. Would tell me your address and I'll send you a bottle of vodka. And he sent me over it's toffee and butterscotch vodka. It's like I guess it's classed as a liqueur. Oh, I had a glass last night and I thought, no, don't have another one. Before you know it, the bottle will be empty and you'll be pissed.
Farmers, do you think you could send his company details to me? Because I have a friend who's big time into their gin.
Yeah, and he's hang on. He's in. Where did I put that? Oh, there he is. There's his business card. He's closer to you than he is to me because he's in Dis.
Ah. Yeah.
I think
one of my ex-service friends, she's very, very into her gin.
I think he actually starts trading on Tuesday. You can't actually buy any of it yet, and I've had a fair slug of this. It's very nice.
Yeah, you sounded properly lubricated.
It's good stuff. It really is. Just over ice. Don't spoil it by mixing anything with it. Yeah, I'll ping you his details.
Do you think it's
that's the mark of a good vodka?
Way because Zoom chat disappears too quickly for me.
Yeah, no, I'll stick it in. I'll ping you in Discord.
Thanks.
Do you think it's worth reading the description under Lindsay's videos? I just the peanuts can see it, but I don't think there's any point reading it.
Can we read the description instead of watching the video?
No.
Oh, bugger.
Well, I could read it really slowly.
Yes, you'd have to do it in 27 minutes.
No, sorry, I can't read it that bloody slowly.
You have remembered to turn this to Lindsay speed, haven't you, Terry?
Oh yeah, I've got to do Lindsay speed. Yeah.
Yeah, hang on. I didn't think we were going straight in with the Lindsay. Oh, mind you, though.
Oh.
I can't hear my washing machine now, so I might have to go and get the washing out. Oh, there he is.
Well, Paul's back.
Yeah, Paul's back. Paul's back just in time for Lindsay.
Yeah,
See you, Paul.
perfect
Isn't he
timing.
lucky?
Perfect timing.
Oh, we're waiting for a clue.
Oh yeah, well, okay. I'll turn Lindsay off until I get the clue. I haven't got a clue.
I'm sorry, I haven't a clue.
I haven't a clue.
What's the clue?
A clue to your name.
Oh, okay. I just dropped out. I don't know why, but my internet just went freaking crazy.
Oh, it's
so
your,
I've just
your turn
rejoined.
for,
So give me a chance to actually write a clue.
Okay.
okay.
I did say I was waiting. I probably should have
Yeah.
implied patiently, even though that's not true.
Let me.
I'll guess he was a scientist.
Yeah.
Or possibly she.
Or she,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, he or she is a scientist.
Could have been an engineer as well, of course.
Hmm.
I think we've had a few of those.
Now let me get the actual.
Yeah, but
up
they
so
could be
I
dead
can
or alive
find the
too. So
chat.
we've got to think of if they're still living or are they. Okay,
I don't
that's
think he'd
clue.
be living. He's dead.
They died. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Here's
So
the
a dead
screen.
scientist. That narrows it down.
I've almost got the chat up.
What do you mean it's not a decomposing composer?
No. Okay, here comes the clue. Let me type it out.
Yes, Fred, you're right. We do need to work up to Lindsay. Yeah, you can't just go in sort of cold.
And hard.
RT96 has got a very good question.
What is it true they have internet on computers now? Don't believe everything you see on
Not
the internet.
anymore. It fell out of favour with the old dial-up.
God, I remember those days.
What earth philosophy? A rare double non sequitur.
Yes.
Thanks, JM. Thanks, JMC Laugh, for that one. 9 o'clock hero. Static momentum.
There is your clue.
Okay. So C something L was a giant of natural science. He is responsible for the formal two-part naming system we use to classify all life forms.
Nope.
No?
No,
No.
not that one.
Not that one?
That's not part of my ready ammunition, shall we say?
Hmm. Giant of natural science. John Giovanni's going for a last name first, and so is James C. Lahr.
Yeah.
You don't get extra points for spelling it correctly.
No, they don't. Because both of those are spelt incorrectly. Right surname, but incorrectly spelt.
Okay. Now we need a first name.
Yeah. Not Colin. That's right, John. Carolus Linnaeus.
Wow.
He wasn't Welsh then.
What's John's? Clyanx lever. That was John's guess. Where'd you get that name from, John? Fred said I win
You
then.
know.
How does that work?
You're applying flat Earth logic there.
Yeah.
Right, I'm almost back to normal.
Normal?
Yeah, got everything. I've got my internet up. I've got my Google up. I've got my quiz up.
Does Google know to turn your lights on and off though? Is that working?
It does. Yeah.
Oh, Google.
That won't work because I've got my headphones on.
Yeah, I know. Oh, my cup has nearly gone cold. I'm going to have to go and make another one.
Press play and walk away, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like every, you're
Right,
noticing-
my mug's empty. I need to go back to
John,
I
you got
need to do some dishes.
Yeah,
Phones
yeah.
will go off now.
John's going to go and mow the lawn. What are you going to do, Mark? You're going to go and do some
I've got
washing.
dishes to do.
You got some dishes
Yeah.
to do. Okay.
I've got to empty the washing machine.
Okay.
I should go make myself a sandwich. for lunch.
Okay.
So none of us are actually going to watch.
Okay,
this.
Peanuts. What are you going to be doing for the next few minutes?
I might leave the audio on. So
Anything but this.
I'll see what the Peanuts say.
Yeah, I could put my wireless headphones on and listen to it when I go downstairs, or I could just stream it through the laptop in the kitchen.
Yeah, why not?
Because I don't want to hear it. That's why. It's going to be complete bollocks.
Or you could yell at Lindsay from the kitchen and we wouldn't hear.
My neighbours think, who's he calling a pin moron now? Is he shouting at the cat again?
Well, we got a
Why is he
correction.
telling his cat that's not how that works?
That's not how that works. That's not how any of it works. Squeak. Or bubble. Oh dear.
Okay, got sound, got audio,
Sadly.
got that.
Oh, I think this is a full 27 and 13 one then.
Yeah.
Well, for Lindsay's speed calculated at 1.5. Okay.
1 1/4.
Is it 1 1/4 or 1?
I
Oh,
thought
1
you only
1/4.
said
sorry.
it-
Make it one. Actually, make it 2.
No, I think we've tried it, but it's a little bit worse.
I thought we
Yeah, I know.
normally-
Then I'm the only person that can understand them.
You thought we'd what, Alan?
I thought we normally did it at 1.5.
No, 1.25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Which brings it down to 21.7 minutes.
I know. Oh, we've
not
got
too
a
bad.
Stephen Huxtable. Hi, that guy is disturbingly dumb.
I wouldn't say disturbingly so much as unbelievably.
Yeah.
I mean, he is always fractally not even wrong.
Yeah, the door says, "Oh bugger, still too early."
Still too early. Off you go, Dora. We'll see you in a bit.
Look, I'm sorry, Peanuts. I've tried to dissuade him from playing this, but you know what he's like.
John's gone to watch his dog.
I'll go and watch my dog.
You haven't got
I
one.
haven't got one.
I don't even have a dog.
Go and watch the cat.
I tell you what, yeah, I value my skin. Bloody hell. That'd be a painful experience. I knew the postman was coming earlier on because next door's dog sees him through the window and barks like bonkers at him. And
Yeah,
as
the
soon as I
postman's
hear that
coming.
dog barking like that, it's like, I'm about to get some post.
Yeah.
We've got somebody naked in the chat, by the way.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Mr.
Play it,
Huxtable.
please.
What, you wanna listen to
look,
Lindsay?
Stephen's going to get a spanner as long as they've subbed, so that's the deal. The cost. Okay. We just need a 4-letter P word now.
Well, I can think of several, but unfortunately, the one that doesn't trip off the tongue is press play, please, Terry. Oh,
Okay.
Terry.
Who? What?
Terry. It's Terry with a P.
Welcome to another video on the moon phases. Another perspective, some more very interesting information about what's going on over and above
Liar!
our flat Earth, as opposed to the spinning ball garbage that most people just go along with because they like being fooled.
Oh yeah.
Let's
Or
delve
because it
into
actually friggin'
There's
works.
another picture of the flat Earth looking down on it. This is an exploded image of the black hole of creation, which has been blown up, expanded, and thrown above the northern sky. Arctic centre is the centre, okay, of our flat Earth realm. This is just the northern hemisphere. You have the tropical gap, then you have the southern field. But the southern field is just a parabolic image of this. So I don't need to go into that. If you want to check that out, understand that, you go back and check out other videos. But we'll just talk about this because creation's right back here in the centre. Above the Arctic, and here, there's the equator to the equator. There's the northern hemisphere. Everything is happening around here. Out here is the parabolic image created from this rotation.
What, northern hemisphere
Talking
is
about
up?
this void in here, vortex, where the black hole of creation is, because the
It's in the middle of his Mystic Space
Milky Way
meeting
is
with
in
Peter.
here, and all this is down inside the Milky Way. This is down inside the Milky Way. It's the place where we do not see anything. It's the God zone, but it's all been blown up and put in our northern hemisphere sky. Okay? Well, actually,
Not okay.
the black hole
No,
in
not
here
okay. No.
is the rotation around the tropics. This is blown up into our realm as the circle around the tropics, around the flat Earth, okay? And this is what's happening. You see this golden ratio, Fibonacci sequence, or whatever you want to call it? There's half a
Whatever
cycle.
you want to call it.
When it comes back in. There's the blue one, it winds back in. That's the moon cycle. The monthly
No, it's
picture, overall, it's pattern. But you have to imagine the moon,
I predict he's going
like
to
there's
say
30 days a
cardinal.
month, right? So
Yeah.
you put the moon here in 30 positions, and it's going to stick to that position for the day, and it moves out a little bit, moves out, and over the month it forms this pattern. That's what the moon's doing. Now, these are the planets. They sit in here in their circles, all centered on this black hole of creation.
So the moon
Now,
is further
from
away
here-
than the planets are.
Right in here,
Okay.
it sends an egg. That's the egg. That's the cosmic egg. And right in here, that's the sun. The sun's created on the horizon of the sun, black hole. And the black hole, the whole egg turns, because that is the Milky Way. And the sun, tucked in the Milky Way like an egg, turns with the Milky Way. There's the sun. And the sun shines, during the day it'll shine across the black hole. That's its projection. So it's facing this way today, this minute. That's whatever time it is there. Well, not exactly, because you've got the curving magnetic fields. The sun follows this curving magnetic field, also called a run line, or the spider web in celestial navigation. But that's the route all the stars take, the sun takes.
That's not what a rumble
They
line
take
is.
this pattern.
I was trying to figure out his black hole to where he's saying that the moon and the Milky Way rotated. I'm trying to think what plane would they rotate on for the black hole, as long as they don't rotate the opposite way.
Terry,
What?
you'll do
Making
yourself
the-
a brain injury.
We
if
don't
you
see
try
it
to
like
figure
that. We
out.
just see it
Okay.
on our
Okay.
mains of
You're making the
Our arc
classic
of horizon.
rookie mistake
Things
of
pass
trying to
over.
understand them.
Okay.
our arc of horizon. I've got time, I'll get into that if I remember to get back to it. that could be another video actually, it's an interesting video too. So, in the past I've drawn the new moon here. Quite a few videos over the last 2 years I've mentioned the new moon here because it's going in. But no, it comes in, if it comes in here or goes in here, whichever way you want to look at it, it spirals in here.
Which way?
And when it gets around to here, that is
Yeah, it
bang
goes
on
the
new
other way.
moon. That is new moon. Because the sun's here facing that way, that's new moon. Here, directly across here, but remember, there's these curves here, okay? That will be the full moon. The full moon is always opposite behind the sun. The sun's pointing that way. See? It always points across the black hole. The black hole is the amplifier. So the full moon is always there, the new moon is always right there. Now the moon is the neutral. it's the negative phase, not neutral, negative phase. You call that neutral. And that's the positive. In physics, you can call that, the electron, the proton is the sun, and the neutron's right at the centre, the dead centre. So you come down here. The actual sun is back at the centre. The actual sun of creation, the real sun, not the sun we see projected into our skies as a focal point of the frequencies being projected across this black hole amplifier into our realm. It's just the picture, that's an image.
Wow.
It's for signs, as the good book says. They're all for signs, because they all come out of this original state. Everything in our realm is secondary. It's become a dual system. This is a single system for where we come and where we go. But in this physical world of ours, it's become a dual system, male, female, up, down, positive, negative, hot, cold, in and out, up, down. So, okay, come down here. The actual sun is back at the centre, at the beginning of this magnetic field. I've drawn in this picture here. So, the black hole can also be replaced by man on Earth, looking out from the black hole, because we're all from there. Creation is from in there. So every man is looking out from creation. He is the centre of the universe, his universe. That's his arc of horizon. The sun comes up and goes down. It never changes size. Because it's been projected out from here into his dome of horizon. He has his own dome as well. Just like the Earth has one. Well, it has meridians. There's meridians that go from north to south. We're a fractal of that. A mini-me.
That's not what meridian means.
It's projected onto our dome. Now, I'll get more into that in another video.
I don't think he knows what fractal is either.
So, what have we got here? The sun is back at the centre. So the sun's at the centre, and we see it out now around here. We're there today. The sun lines up with the black hole centre at all times. It's always projecting across it. And the moon, it is new moon. If I see it and the moon hits there, that's new moon. If Mercury is in this alignment, we get a solar eclipse. Mercury nullifies the moon's one frequency. The moon has one frequency. She has to add to the sun. The sun is nothing without that one frequency. It's made up of a lot of frequencies, but without just that one, it's not there. It's not happening. The good book states that, or the Hermetica state that. It's a collection. You take one out of the picture, it all collapses. The moon is a negative phase opposite the positive. So the moon's one frequency is taken out of the negative, is taken out of the Mercury's positive frequency. They're balanced. When you get balancing in
what the hell's a negative
magnetic fields, south and north, they meet and cancel each other out. They just don't exist.
Oh, man.
It's the same with the frequency. Frequencies. Neutral, or a male and female get it on, So,
doesn't frequency have a designated value?
He doesn't mean what we mean
Yeah.
about anything.
Obviously. Frequency could mean anything to Lindsay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in reality, a frequency is the number of times something happens in a second.
Yeah.
Now that can't be negative.
No.
A non-frequency.
this is why you get a solar eclipse.
Is that why?
Because you've got the sun on the neutral side, negative side I should say, there's the neutral and there's the positive. Mercury will be over here, lining up with the sun. Sun, Mercury, neutral.
I think John remembered it from last time.
This is the solar eclipse. This is the program NASA will have. They will know all this. Otherwise, they'll never be able to guess where a solar eclipse will occur. There's a bit more to it than that, though, because it took the declination of the.
Isn't that amazing? We can predict when one is.
So that's
Can you, Lindsay?
That's quite well explained, I'd say. The moon wanders all the way out here to full moon. Then it winds back in again. All the way back in there.
No, it doesn't.
You see? The sun is offset. Dead centre is the black hole of creation. The centre of the vortex, centre of the Milky Way. Tucked in the Milky Way is the sun. Just like that. So the full moon's out here. You've got the open drawn the Milky Way in here. You've got the Milky Way all around the outside here. So the new moon is behind, the Milky Way is between the sun and the full moon. The full moon is the shadow of the sun. This is basically what the video is about. I've done several videos on this, and I'm trying to explain how and why people...
You've got to watch his previous videos, Monk, to understand all this.
But there's two clues. One, that full moon being completely opposite to the direction of the sun, creating a shadow. The other is the moon phase is on the opposite side to the sun for half its cycle, for 14 days. Daylight, moon facing. You don't have the moon on the daylight side for half its cycle. There's another clue. It's opposite the sun. Now, trying to explain how the moon can be the sun's shadow as it's coming back in is too tricky to explain, because I have to start moving everything at the same time, which I can't do because it needs a computer program to show you how it works. But because of the spiraling back in like this,
It doesn't
this shape,
work.
you'll find the sun is opposite, but not completely opposite, is it? Because the moon is phasing, so it's off, dead opposite while it's phasing. Obviously, getting closer and closer.
Imagine how much trouble Dean would have trying to model Lindsay's model.
Loses the moon.
You cannot, because there is no
It's
model
the
that
back-
would
it's
fit
the
his
sun's
ramblings.
shadow that creates the moon that we see, the cold side of the moon, the opposite side to the sun. This is all coming out of the central creation. See, if you don't understand the central creation, you won't know what the hell I'm talking about out here in our realm. Our sun out here does not affect anything in the sky. Nothing. None of those celestial projections can affect each other. You're certainly not going to be hit by a flipping meteor or anything, because they're images. They're for signs.
It's not a meteor, it's an image.
The centre core, the
And
centre
they're
vortex
images
of
which
creation.
happen to land on the ground
You've
and
been lied
dig
to.
holes.
You've been treated
Yeah.
like dummies, slaves to the system. The Freemasons, the wealthy elites are at the top, laughing at you, laughing at us. Pull your socks up and do something about it. What have I got here? Alchemy. Alchemy, or spiritual alchemy, or esoteric stuff.
Infamy.
They work on 8 moon phase
They've all
positions.
got it infamy.
Also found in ancient mythological stories, Nordic, etc. Well, 8 phases. Look at the numbers. 8 times 369. If you understand
What? 8
the
phases
significance
of
of
what?
369, you will find the keys to the universe. Who said that? Tesla. 369. 369 days between each phase, if you work on the 8 phases. What does it come to? Look. That's a Sidonic month. 29.52 days on average. Someone could bamboozle you with all these other stupid figures. That's what it is. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
Or they
17,
could be
18.
what we actually
Wow, it's
observe.
up to 18 as well.
Maybe not
Double
exactly
nine.
language.
666. 3's and 9. 3's and 18. Doesn't go too well, does it? 3, 6, 18, yeah. Incomplete set.
No, it doesn't work. It doesn't even
Oh, hang on, that doesn't work.
What a
I know.
moron, yeah. 3's into 18 doesn't go too
No,
well.
that doesn't. No, I can't work that one out.
Cycle over the month. Full moon to full moon. This is the cycle. That's the cycle.
Let's give you a clue.
Half a cycle.
Then
Comes back in.
numbers, Lindsay.
This is
not
how I came
bigger.
to begin my whole understanding of the flat earth. I started off the moon and came to realise this 2 years ago. Now I know the whole system. Nobody can debunk me. No one else knows the full flat earth system.
Lindsay, do you know why we can't debunk you?
Shadowing of the moon is via the black hole sun. It's alignment. So we've
Because
got
you
alignments.
can't fix
Alignments.
stupid.
Right.
Where's the moon? Where will be the sun? Where's the moon? Where will be the sun? And then in the mix you get a planet come in line. Mercury in line at new moon creates the solar eclipse. The moon cycle pattern moves west a little each month. So this pattern moves. It's forever moving. It's that little bit each month. So the full moon next month could be here or there, wherever. It's moving. It's never in the
Where?
same place. And we can't tell. In our night sky, we don't know if the moon's here or there unless you understand this pattern and its relationship to the sun.
Nobody
It's
understands.
quite easy. We can look up at the night sky and see, hello, there's the new moon. and each night it moves back this much. Well, it's not really moving back, it's just that everything's moving that way because the sun has moved forward 52 minutes.
You can't look up into the night sky and see the new flipping moon.
So if the sun moves forward 52 minutes, this is going to appear to be back 52, isn't it? 52, 52, 52. But the sun's racing around
Behind you again.
to come back up and catch the moon again. It does 2 to 1 over the month. Okay. Now, creation is inverted to our physical world. I've stated this a few times in my earlier videos. Down here, we have our sun, the man, then a shadow. Oh, I didn't go over this. Man is from the whole.
He does this very frequently.
He
This.
used himself.
So up
Yeah.
there, we have the black hole.
He writes
the
it
sun,
down and he
then the
forgets
sun,
what he's wrote
shadow.
and what it means
Well, anyway,
to him.
There's the
But he
pyramid down here
understands
on
it
Earth.
completely. He's the only one who
That's a
does.
representation
Can't be debunked.
of the black hole of creation. It's deep, but I've done videos on that if you want to go back and check them out. But inverted is like this. So up in heaven, up in the system works this way. But down on Earth it's this way. And I wouldn't be surprised if underneath the Great Pyramid, Khufu Pyramid, it forms this shape. You see this shape, and it's a mirror image.
Underneath the pyramid.
Everything's mirrored. It's right to esoteric knowledge.
He had to work in pyramids, didn't he?
You know, alchemy, mirrors. The southern field is a mirror of the north.
Well, he's got a Gaussian
Parabolically
physics
mirrored
down
because
pat.
of this curve. What curved mirrors do, you put a flat picture here, rotate it, with the curving mirror like this, and you get a whole complete term like this. That curve, that rotation, ends up rotating around here in the opposite direction. 180 degrees opposed.
A curving mirror.
No spinning ball that can
Yeah, and funny
handle
that the constellations are all completely
So,
freaking
what
different.
we have
How's
up in
that work?
creation, well in creation, we have black hole, sun,
Black hole sun again.
and the moon.
Yeah.
On Earth we see, okay, this is opposite, you see. So you've got the black hole and the sun, but on Earth you have you'll have the sun there, and the black hole represented by man. Oh, this is about the shadow. This is part of the Earth's dual system. Dual? What was another word for that? What was dual? Inverted system. So up in creation we get the black hole, the sun, and the shadow, which is the moon. But then you get the opposite on Earth. You get the sun, the man, who represents the black hole, and then you get the shadow, or the sun or any object on Earth, because everything is from the whole, and you get a shadow. This is one example. I've got a lot of examples back in previous videos. How it's inverted. Creation to the physical world. The physical world, pyramids included, are this way up. Heaven, or the non-physical, is this way up. It's going a bit deep. The moon. We don't see the sun and moon together for half the moon cycle, 40 days. We've been over this, haven't we? We have the sun speed, the moon speed, and the star speed. The sun does 2 to 1.
Oh, you can't see the sun and the moon in the sky at the
2
same
to
time.
1 with the moon over 1 month. Physics knows about this one.
Unless
Okay,
you look at
you
it
understand this?
like the real world.
That's this monthly cycle. The cardanoid, look, the cardanoid. Remember the new moon down here now. I've mistakenly put it in there before. But understanding the whole moon cycles now, phases. I've got the
I
whole
know
picture.
I shouldn't, but I get really angry when he butchers words.
You know, science knows about this curving, about the sun going down so many minutes before we see it go down, or something like that. But they're only referring to man's arc of horizon, so you only see a fraction of what's going on up there, right? Where was I going with that? So like we're only seeing a fraction within our arc of horizon. But look at the distance from there all the way around to there. So the sun has been projected out of here, and it will follow the sphere all the way around here. On the other day, the other video, I said, so if it's 1 o'clock here, it'll be 1 o'clock here, 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 it's all 1 o'clock. Well, that's right, if you just concentrate on the northern hemisphere, but wait till I give you the southern hemisphere, it's going to be quite buzzy. And it's all related to the latest Globebuster video that just came out yesterday.
Oh, good.
Yesterday.
What globe bus? No, we don't watch them.
About how the sun is not on the same longitude, degree of longitude in the other hemisphere. You'd think it'd all be the same, but I'll show you how it doesn't work that way. So that'll be interesting. And also, you might have seen the you might have seen it by now, the debate between David Dipstick Professor Bullshit and David Weiss, and the arrogance of Professor Dave. And I'm going to make a real dick of him in a video.
Really?
All this stuff is complete bullshit. He's just parroting what they've taught him. He knows nothing. And I'm going to break it all down.
Oh,
So
really?
I wouldn't want to debate him face to face either, because he's a good talker. He knows his bullshit. But the thing is, I know my stuff. So if he's not aware of any of my stuff, it's going to mean nothing to him. He's got to be shown.
It doesn't mean anything to anybody except
think
you.
about it,
No.
and then try and argue about it. And they can't. They're too. You can't debunk this whole system, the flat Earth system. You can debunk their bullshit. I can quite easily. So I could probably debate them, but I'm not.
You can't even understand the globe model.
No,
it's just not my career. I've been a self-employed builder all my life. I've never had to talk to anything, except abuse the shit out of my hammer when it hits my thumb. Yeah. And the odd client now and then. But anyway, so imagine the moon is in all these positions, say mark 30 on there, and it'll stay there for a day before it wanders further into its cycle. But it's going around every day, 52 minutes behind the sun, because the sun's creeping ahead, leaving the stars behind as well. Remember, the sun races ahead, so it's leaving the stars behind. So if the sun races ahead, what's going to happen? When night falls, you're going to have more stars come in. But when the sun races around the Earth, it's going to bury the suns at the back, the stars at the back. The sun races ahead, means there's going to be more stars following in behind it. It just means this whole pattern will race up behind it, but the sun will catch up to the tail and start chewing up the tail into the sunlight, start losing those stars. This will be in that Professor Dave video I'll be doing, just showing what a dick he is. He's trying to tell you the stars go down the bottom of the world or something. You're going in the light of the sun. It's a no-brainer. That's where everything goes. Everything is in a cycle. It's all fixed in a cycle. It's just the sun catching up to it, and you lose it in the face of the sun. It's that simple. Okay. Spread the good news. Thumbs up. Share the good news. It's pretty quiet out there. What is it? Are they trying to hide all my...
Here's some good news that I'd like to share with everybody. Lindsay's video is done. Thank you.
Yes. Oh,
my God.
Oh, that was painful.
It's just so smugly infuriating.
He thinks he's going to be able to debunk Professor Dave.
That'll be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Dean thinks that we're watching the same video as before. What?
Yeah, I think that follows on directly from the one we watched last time, doesn't it?
It does.
It seems
Because it's
to,
still got
yeah.
all of that. It's all the same stuff on the white.
Same stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
He also seems to have partly gone back to some of his previous stuff with the black hole and the sun, but he hasn't got the snake in there yet, has he?
No, not yet. I'm sure give him time if he doesn't get too diverted, making a prat of himself trying to debunk Professor Dave. Yeah, there's a reason he'll never debate him, because he wouldn't last half as long as Dirt did.
He wouldn't last 30 seconds.
No.
Well,
He'd never shut the hell up.
Guess where I had a flatty tell me you'll find Sigma Octantis?
Go on then.
Directly above Polaris.
Hey?
Yeah, well, because like all you people in the southern hemisphere, you don't know you don't know the difference between north and south, apparently. So you can't tell that you're actually looking north at Sigma Octantis, but you can't see Polaris because Polaris is too low for you to see. I couldn't figure out why we can't Oh, apparently we can't see Sigma Octantis because Polaris blocks it somehow.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, that's just,
Because apparently they are both stationary over the centre of the stars going round on their flat plate. And apparently it's a flat plate, not a dome.
it's what makes me laugh about these guys. None of them can actually agree on anything. They've all got, variations on the theme, but no two themes seem to tally up.
Yeah.
Well, they agree with each other a lot when they're actually talking, but then they'll go off and say different things.
Yeah. And then when you ask this person for some clarification, they say, because I'm right, you're wrong, you're stupid, I'm clever, I win.
Yeah.
Literally that.
And I didn't hear a word you said because I'm listening to myself.
Well, somebody's got to, Terry.
Oh.
The voices in my head don't like you.
I know the voices in my head aren't real, but they have some really nifty ideas.
They told me they're not real.
Fun fact, the South Magnetic Pole is actually the North Pole.
No, that's weird, right?
Well, it will be one day. Isn't it going to invert itself eventually?
Well, the magnetic poles, yes, they do every now and then. The magnetic field flips.
Aren't we overdue for one?
Apparently so, yes. We're overdue for a lot of things. We're overdue for Yellowstone erupting again, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we should say we're on the long ends of those average periods.
Yes, yes.
When those events happen.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if it ever happens, what effect it would have on us and all of our technology and electronics if the magnetic poles flip.
About every 30,000 years, I think, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah. They've got geological records of it, apparently, and yeah, we're about due for it to happen again, give or take a bit.
Apparently, it's pretty obvious when you look at the magnetic information locked in
the rocks.
The igneous rock either side of the Mid-Atlantic Trench.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean, for the flat Earth, Southern Hemisphere has always been a problem, which is why I can't understand that you can have people like Mitchell from Australia. How can you have Australian flat earthers? It just doesn't compute. I mean, no, flat Earth doesn't compute, but Australian flat earthers. Yeah, yeah.
I haven't seen Ross for a while. I don't know what's happened to him.
He did a debate on what bloody channel is it that does the debates now? He was on the one that loves Nathan Thompson. He was on there the other day.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, you know the one I mean. I can't think what it's bloody called. Modern Day Debates. That's it.
Yeah.
He was on there last week.
Oh, John said he read it wrong. It's an actual North Pole. That is why the south end of a magnet is attracted to it. Okay.
9 o'clock, the MDD, Modern Day Debates.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, Modern Day Debate. He was on there. When was he on there? Oh, 3 days ago, against Mr. Laid Back in his sofa tea jump. And the debate was, is gravity a hoax? And you could have saved yourself a lot of time just by going, no.
No.
Here we go.
Yeah, somebody put me onto this. I didn't even know it was out.
Nothing. I think
it only came out
yesterday.
Is
it yesterday?
Where's the date?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know this. I can't see where the date is for it. No date written on it.
Yeah, yesterday.
No, it doesn't say.
Huh, surprising.
It's weird. It was only recent.
Yeah, premiered on the 26th. Yeah, yesterday. Yesterday afternoon, I think it came out. Well, my afternoon, anyway.
Do you think we should give anyone a clue what's going on, or we'll just play it?
I know. I think you should just throw it at them from cold and let them enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm walking into this with no expectations. There you go.
You
Are we still on Lindsay speed?
Yeah,
no,
well,
you don't. No, you won't need Lindsay speed for this.
No.
Or do you want to check it?
No, it's not on Lindsay speed. It resets itself when you go to another video. So that should be back to normal now.
There you go.
Okay.
Normal.
Okay. Press play.
I would. Yeah, that's a good idea. Press play, please.
Tell me how the maps work correctly then, please, because I'm literally looking 60 miles with my own eyes, and I'm seeing Chicago, okay? And I've seen that with my own eyes. So please tell me how you're having this massive refraction that doesn't exist and is bending my
why do you say that refraction doesn't exist? I'm not trying to catch...
No, wait. I didn't say refraction doesn't exist. Refraction does exist. But refraction doesn't exist to the point that you're trying to peep at you. But
okay, well, why do you say... But why do you say
because
that?
There's no proof of it. Because there's no proof of it. Can you prove it to me that it does that?
Well, again, we're back to
simulation?
We're back to proof, aren't we? I mean, what we can do...
We're talking about reality, though. What we're trying to observe, right? Scientific method, but it also has some observations in it, all right?
Right.
So we're talking about what we can
and that's how we know. And that's how we know. That's how we know how light behaves in different mediums. Because those are things. Hang on. Those are things that we can test in the laboratory, right? We can stick a light in one place and stick material between it and somewhere else and see how that light behaves. And that's how we know how light refracts in an atmosphere. So we have an atmospheric pressure gradient, which is, I'll be as brief as I can because I know you've heard this before. We have an atmospheric pressure gradient that gets denser as you get closer, and that denser atmosphere makes the light change angle. Usually, well, it makes it change angle so it goes down. A bit like the easy demonstration of this effect is a spoon in a glass of water. And if the glass is half full, you see like a bend in the spoon if you're looking at the whole glass. Do you know what I mean when I say that? Definitely. Your refraction's based on
I do know what you mean. You're saying
right. So that's an effect of refraction where the light that's traveling through the water is traveling it's taking longer than the light that's traveling through the air. It actually travels at the same speed. It takes a longer route, essentially.
No, your refraction
is there any for me then to prove for myself? Then is there anything that you could show me experiment-wise that I know refraction, I understand that, but
hello, can I be heard? Hello?
Yeah, Nathan.
Yeah, Jem Panda's lying to you. He's talking about refraction in atmosphere. Atmospheric refraction's mathematical based. It's based on R. We debunked R. They can't measure it to use refraction. He's talking about refraction in light. Talking about spoons in water. That's actual refraction. His terrestrial refraction, which he specifically said, is mathematical only. It's based on R. He hasn't got an R. We debunked it. Can't measure it. Also, Jem Panda said that satellite TV dishes point up at the equator. When have you seen that? Did you just quote, get it from the internet, picture from the internet, right?
Yeah, correct.
I've been on Jakarta. I used to work with AV equipment and satellite dishes on the equator. They don't point at the sky. Jem's just made that up. Maybe you got a picture from the internet.
Yeah, you got to go to Google Earth and see that.
You're a liar. They don't do that. I've been in Jakarta, fiddling with satellite dishes, Jem. Have you ever done that? You liar. They don't point up. Point to the horizon. Same as all of them. Why did you just make that up, Jem? Did you just get a picture from the internet of a dish pointing upwards? Further to that, somebody pointed out that there's satellites on balloons. So they could be pointing up at the balloons then. Have you proved that they're not? Cat got your tongue, Jem?
It's not there.
No, he's not going to answer you.
Yeah, I think the music bot was playing a recording.
He's ignoring him.
I actually thought that you were part of the recording until I saw that you were flashing.
Sure. Jem, you there? Don't seem to be replying.
Hello, Jem, you there?
You've made up that crap about satellite dishes pointing up on the equator, and your refraction's based on maths. It's not in reality like a spoon in a glass. It's just R that we've debunked. Don't seem to be responding to me.
No.
Hello.
He's arguing with a recording. That's how.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Jem's not here. It was a recording of a previous conversation that was being played by the bot.
I did come in to ask that. In 24/7. So Jem's not here. Wonderful.
No, hey, Nathan, are you here?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, we were replaying an old video.
Typical.
Yeah, sure. So, how you doing, brother?
What a man. I think got Jem on the ropes. Clearly not.
So that was over on Jem's one time.
Well, no,
what an absolute plonker.
I think the original conversation was probably on Gems, but this was played in I think 24/7 Flat Earth.
Oh, and Nathan came in there.
And Nathan came in thinking Gem was actually live talking to somebody because he's trying to interrupt. And even when he was first told that it was the bot playing an old conversation, he's still going, Gem, are you there? Could you hear me? He just told you
he still thought he was live. There.
Which part of it's a recording did you not understand, you idiot?
And of course, in amongst all that, he then does his spiel about all satellite dishes point at the horizon.
Yeah.
No, I've got one on the
side. And if they are pointing up, hang on a second. I thought you said they weren't pointing up.
Yeah, they're not pointing up, but yet they're pointing up at Satelloons. Well, make your bloody mind up, He just goes from one piece of crap to the next, to try and defend us. Oh, well, atmospheric refraction, that's all mathematical. You can't have it because you need R, and you haven't got R. You keep saying we don't know the radius of the Earth, but we do. But you're just pretending that we've never measured it, we've never worked it out, we can't see it, etc., etc.
Chemo does the same thing. It sounds like. That's why Chemo sets himself up over on Gems and hopefully gets a little recording clip.
That's it. All they're after is sound bites, but they'll basically sit there and go, "Oh, there's no proof that the Earth is a sphere." Well, no, there is. No, there isn't. There's no proof. You've never measured R. You've got no photos of curvature. Space is fake. Boom. There you go.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, how can you
your
argue
denialism is not proof.
Yeah. How can you argue against that?
I'm not really sorry.
It's a dressed up version of nuh-uh.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is.
Nuh-uh.
I ignore your reality and replace it with my own.
Correct.
Okay, we've been going for an hour and a half now already. And
it feels like 3 hours because of Lindsay.
Lindsay will do that,
yeah. And did you say you managed to squeeze a couple of questions down on paper?
I did.
Paul?
I managed to write a very quick quiz on special relativity.
Who?
So it's just the
I thought you said
topic.
this was supposed to be the easy one.
Well, I did.
To Paul it's easy, but to everyone else we've got to go to university and get a PhD in physics for the 5 years, and then we'll be able to do the quiz.
Sod that for a hello. Sod that for Sod that for a game of what's it. Well, I think if I was in real estate or trying to advertise a house, I would say that this property has an excellent and very attractive frontage.
Mm. and a good backyard. And a good backyard.
Good too.
Yeah, the backyard.
The backyard's very well presented, and I could go further, but I won't.
Shame about the drapes.
Yeah. Oh dear.
And the gardener keeps everything well trimmed. I don't know.
All right. So it's all multiple choice.
Of course.
Yeah. So,
lots and lots of ways to get it very wrong. Yay.
Yeah. Only 3 ways to get it wrong.
Oh, so I've got a 33 and a third chance of getting it right. Okay.
No, you've got a 1 in 4 chance of getting it right because there's 4.
Oh, four. Okay.
Yeah. There are 3 wrong ones and 1 right one. Okay. Okay. Question 1. Let me set the scene. So you've got a rocket that passes a space station at a speed of 0.8 the speed of light, parallel to the side of the space station. There is a circular window on the space station as shown in this figure. So the space station has a circular window in it, and the bloke person in the rocket is going past the space station at 0.8 times the speed of light. Okay? Got that?
Mm-hmm.
So which of those answers, A, B, C, or D, best shows how the window would look to the person on the passing rocket?
You'd be doing well to see it at all at 0.8
Where's he
speed of
going?
light. What is that?
Yeah.
Christ.
Look.
That's worse than going and watching Formula One.
I reckon it's that one.
Circular, like A.
I reckon it's that one.
Okay, stab in the dark time.
I reckon it's that one.
So what does Terry reckon? Terry reckons B. Farmer's Boy reckons C.
John Rapp thinks C.
Because I'm not sure if the speed... I'm thinking the speed makes the difference whether it be C or B.
Now there's two phenomena that happen when you get close to the speed of light in special relativity. One of them is called time dilation, and the other one is called length contraction.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of those do you think applies in this situation?
Ah, okay.
Well, I mean, technically both.
Yeah. But the question is related to the length contraction part of it. Okay? Now, what happens in special relativity is that as you get closer and closer to the speed of light, objects that you pass tend to contract in length in the direction that you're travelling. Okay? And so, travelling horizontally, that horizontal dimension will contract, but the vertical dimension won't. And so the correct answer, as a few people in the Peanuts got it, and as Terry got right, and Mum got right, the correct answer is B.
Yeah. Because I was thinking if you're going slower, the C would be right.
No.
How can you go slower than stationary, Terry?
Good point.
Okay, so question 2. Okay, for which of the following values of the Lorentz factor is the thing that's shown in the diagram there, would relativistic changes in time, length and mass not be observed? Okay, so the Lorentz factor is something that, like when we calculate the length contraction or the time dilation or the mass increase, the relativistic mass increase, you apply the Lorentz factor to those things. And this is how you calculate the Lorentz factor. So when would we not see effects in time, length and mass? When the Lorentz factor is close to 0, when it's significantly less than 1, when it's approximately equal to 1, or significantly greater than 1, which is the correct answer. For those that want to calculate it, you start to see these relativistic effects when speed gets close to the speed of light. That's the V in the diagram, C being the speed of light in the diagram. So when you're not seeing these things, it means that V is significantly less than the speed of light. So what would that Lorentz factor be if V is significantly less than C. Well, that would make V squared on C squared close to 0. 1 minus 0 would be close to 1. The square root of something close to 1 is still something close to 1. And 1 divided by 1 is something close to 1. And so for all of those that got answer C, you would be correct.
Oh, bummer.
When the Lorentz factor is close to 1, you don't see relativistic effects. Okay. All right. Question 3. Okay. Here we go. The figure at right shows Fred in a futuristic train travelling at constant relativistic speed in an easterly direction in a straight line. Fred is halfway between two people, Alan and Bob, who are at opposite ends of the carriage. The train passes a platform. Nancy is standing on the platform. At the instant that Fred and Nancy are directly opposite each other, Fred sees both Alan and Bob strike matches simultaneously. Fred measures the carriage he is travelling in to be 20 metres long. Nancy has measured the platform she is standing on to be 10 metres long. The train rushes past at such a great speed that Nancy sees the carriage and the platform to be the same length. So this is length contraction happening. How fast was the train moving? So this is, I'll accept not an exact answer, but an approximate answer. Is it half the speed of light, 3/4 the speed of light, 0.87 times the speed of light, or 0.97 times the speed of light? There's the calculation you can do at the bottom if you want to actually calculate it. Anyone got any idea here?
Oh, God. Let's go with that.
Not a clue.
You got a 1 in 4 chance of guessing it right, you reckon?
No, I've got a 3 in 4 chance of guessing it wrong.
Probably the perils.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So basically what they're saying here is that the Lorentz factor is going to have to be a half, because Nancy sees the train at half its actual length. Right? So we want to try and find this Lorentz factor, which is the square root of 1 minus V squared on C squared in this case, to be equal to a half. So if we square both of those things, the square of a half is a quarter. So we need 1 minus V squared on C squared to equal a quarter. That means that V squared on C squared must equal 3/4. And so we need to take the square root of 3/4 to get V squared on C squared. All right. And so to do that, we need to find out what the square root of 3/4 is, and that would be root 3 on 2. And anyone who knows what root 3 on 2, it's 0.8661 approximately, which is close to 0.87. And so the correct answer for anyone who got it right out there was C. That was the hardest question in this quiz.
And I got it right.
Right. Okay, question 4. In 1887, Michelson and Morley conducted a famous experiment using light. The aim of this experiment was to what? Was it to accurately measure the speed of light? Was it to show that light was a wave by observing interference effects? Was it to measure the speed of Earth through the ether? Or was it to prove that light was an electromagnetic wave, as predicted by James Clerk Maxwell? What was the aim of that experiment? Pick again, Terry.
No. Well, I'm gonna be wrong. I'd rather be wrong. I'd rather be right. I've only got one more chance.
Well, you're wrong again.
Ah. That wasn't the only two choices.
Right.
And okay, it was one of the others then.
Yeah, I mean, the big argument at the time was that they had this idea that light being a wave, it needed to travel through something, because in all their experience, everything that was a wave had to travel through some kind of medium.
Yeah.
And so they postulated that the ether was the medium. And so by doing the Michelson-Morley experiment at different times of the year, they would be performing it with the Earth travelling in different directions because of its orbit around the Sun through this so-called ether. And they would try and detect the Earth's motion relative to the ether. But unfortunately, they got a null result, which means that they couldn't detect it, or it was within experimental errors or limits that it was not moving relative to the ether. So the correct answer was C.
C. And I should have looked at the picture. And I should have looked at the picture.
Yep.
It is kind of reminiscent in the picture, yes.
Yeah. And this one's also about the Michelson-Morley experiment. The results of the Michelson-Morley experiment supported Einstein's later postulates of the special theory of relativity. Which one of the following is a postulate of Einstein's theory that was supported by the Michelson-Morley experiment? Is it E equals mc squared? Is it the speed of light has a constant value for all observers? Is it light is a wave? Or is it D, the speed of light depends on the speed of the observer's frame of reference? Which one of those postulates was the Michelson-Morley experiment supportive of in relation to special relativity? Okay. E equals mc squared isn't actually a postulate of the special theory of relativity, so that crosses out A. B, the speed of light has a constant value for all observers, actually is one of the postulates of special relativity. And that's the one that was supported by the Michelson-Morley experiment, because no matter which direction the Earth was travelling in, they got the speed of light to be the same in all cases. Yeah.
Biggest doggers. This is hard for me. These experiments were quite new when I last studied physics.
Yeah. Right. Light is a wave. Well, they'd already known that light was a wave for a long time, and that it also can be described as particles as well. So the wave-particle duality nature of light had been known for quite a while at that time.
It's a wavicle.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And D, the speed of light depends on the speed of the observer's frame of reference, is just completely false. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if Judy or Dora got it first.
Yeah.
Judy, by my view.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
mine says
So the
Judy.
correct answer was B. Yeah.
B for Bertie.
Yeah. All right. Question 6. Trung and Mary are driving along a road at 40 metres per second in the same direction. A stationary siren is situated between them. The speed of sound in air is 340 metres per second. The situation is shown in the diagram at right. Okay. Which one of the following gives the speed of sound from the siren in metres per second as measured by Trung and Mary?
Oh, this is the Doppler effect, isn't it?
Yeah. Do they measure it at 340 and 340? Or do they measure it at 300 and 380? Or 380 and 300?
There's two of them there.
320 and 320.
Yeah, there's two of them there that it's one or the other.
We'll take a punt at that. Trung. Where do they get this Trung?
Yeah,
What sort of bloody name's that?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm wrong. God damn it.
Yeah, I don't know. I might have to read it out again to myself. I'm going to put that one out first. Because
yeah.
I'm thinking that one because he's travelling away from the sound and Mary's travelling towards it.
Just ignore everything I just posted.
Okay.
Paul, I'm dumb.
Why?
Oh, right.
And I'm sending it to farmers.
I
just realised I've been sending these answers to farmers.
You have indeed, yeah. It's very good of you. Yeah.
I picked my answer because Trunk's travelling away and Mary's travelling towards. So I thought.
Well, if that's Mary, where's Mungo and Midge?
Yeah, there's something about Mary.
There is. That's not hair gel.
She's travelling towards the siren. Yeah, and so that would make it appear to her as if the sound was coming at her faster. And for Trung, it would appear as if the sound is coming at him slower.
Yeah.
And so that was answer B.
B.
Yeah.
Gesundheit.
And I didn't even use any math for that. I just worked out that.
Yeah.
You don't have to use math for everything.
All right. No, that's right. You didn't have to actually use math for that question. Yeah. Question 7. A similar situation now occurs in space, except that Trung and Mary are travelling in 2 rocket ships in the same direction at 0.2 times the speed of light. Instead of the siren, a stationary space station between them is emitting light of speed 3 by 10 to the power of 8 metres per second. That should be 10 to the power of 8. I forgot to do a superscript in there. In all directions, as shown in the figure below. So, one's travelling towards the space station, one's travelling away from it. Which one of the following gives the speed of light from the space station as measured by Trung and Mary?
Do Trung and Mary get around?
Yeah.
They do.
Just.
Is it 1.2c and 0.8c? Is it c and c? Is it 0.8c and 1.2c? Or is it 1.1c and 1.1c? Which is the correct answer here? Alan has it correct.
Well, clearly the
Monk has it correct.
The correct answer has to be Music Factory.
Has to be what? And for those that were paying attention to the previous question, would realise that this is one of the postulates of special theory of relativity. That no matter how fast you travel towards a light-emitting source or away from it, the light will still be travelling for you at the speed of light. So both Trung and Mary measure it to be at the speed of light, which is B.
Yeah. I typed
the answer being C and C, Music Factory.
Yeah.
I kept pressing the wrong letter on the keyboard.
I'm going to say, that had been, if you'd have made the answer C as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Didn't even think of that. Yeah. Question 8. Roger is in a spacecraft travelling at constant speed. Passing Bridget, who is stationary. Roger is holding a ruler. Roger measures its length to be 1 metre. The ruler can be seen by Bridget through a window as the spacecraft passes. Bridget measures the length of the ruler to be 0.8 of a metre long. Which one of the following gives the proper length of the ruler? Is it 0.2 of a metre? Is it 0.8 of a metre? Is it 1 metre? Or is it 1.2 metres long? We're after the proper length of the ruler.
Well, rulers are only made at certain lengths, aren't they?
Yeah, but Bridget sees it being 0.8 metres long.
Depends how long you want it to be.
Men cannot measure certain objects objectively. Yeah. Yeah.
This is a foot.
Wodger. Willis Wodger.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Willis Wodger.
Yeah.
We want Wadwick.
And if I say I may be a thumb assistant. Just the look on Cleese's face.
Yeah. Okay, and the little diagram there tells you what things are in the length contraction formula. The proper length of anything is its length as measured by the person in the stationary or in the frame of reference where the object is. So it would be Roger's measurement of the length of the ruler, which is the proper length of the ruler, because according to Mary, she's seeing it moving relative to her. And so that's not the proper length. The proper length is Roger's measurement, which is 1 metre. C is the correct answer. Question 9. An electron with an initial speed of 0.99 times the speed of light, or 99% of the speed of light, enters an accelerator, which increases the electron's speed and energy. Which one of the following best describes the effect of the accelerator on the electron's speed and energy? A. Does the speed increase substantially and the energy increases substantially? Or does the speed increase slightly and the energy increases substantially? Or does the speed increase slightly and the energy increase slightly? Or does the speed increase substantially and the energy increase slightly? Which one of those is it? Okay, we've got a few contradictory answers out in the peanuts.
Yeah, I wasn't able to cheat this time out of the peanuts.
Is it B or C? Yeah. And the key thing here is that it's already travelling at 99% of the speed of light. You can't substantially increase its speed much more, can you?
No.
Because you can't get it to go
faster
than the speed of light.
Yeah.
And so what happens is when you input a lot of energy into something that's travelling close to the speed of light, you increase its momentum, but that momentum is expressed in the form of energy. Okay? And so you increase its energy substantially, but you don't increase its actual speed by much at all.
I mean,
as you get closer and closer to the speed of light, a higher proportion of the energy input goes into increasing the energy rather than increasing the speed.
Technically, C could be correct if it was on very low power.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the two I was tossing up between the two.
And the last question, which is kind of a repeat of one of the other questions because I was running out of ideas. Right. 10. According to Einstein's theory of special relativity, which one of the following does not depend on the motion of the observer? Is it the order of occurrence of two events? Is it the time interval between two events? Is it the distance between 2 points? Or is it the speed of light?
So something that's not dependent on the motion of the observer.
Yeah. Does the sequence of two events depend on their motion? Does the time interval between two events depend on their motion? Does the distance between 2 points depend on their motion? Or does the speed of light depend on their motion? And it looks like that most of the peanuts have learnt their lesson on this one. Because the correct answer is, of course, D. The speed of light is invariant to the observers, no matter how fast they're moving. The answer was D.
Yep.
And that was your quiz for today.
Thank you very much.
I hope you didn't find it too hard.
And
if you did, I hope you learned a little bit about special relativity.
Well, I knew about the Doppler effect one and a few of the others a little bit.
Yeah.
The speed of light. I've got partial knowledge. Having partial knowledge of some of the things is getting better.
Alan, you were saying something?
I was going to say it might be helpful if you could give M-Ball a quick overview of Doppler effect with the sound question, and then why the answer is different for sound and light. Because I think he's struggling with it.
Yeah, it's a hard one, that one, because sound actually does require a medium to travel through. Okay, and so because sound is the actual vibration of the medium itself, as the energy is transmitted through the medium, that if you then travel relative to that medium, you are going to be changing the speed of the sound. You are literally running into the sound if you're traveling towards it, and running away from it if you're traveling away from it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it literally does take longer or shorter to get to you, depending on whether you're moving away or towards it. Yeah.
Yeah, you still get Doppler effects in both sound and light.
Yeah.
But the speed of propagation is different because of your motion through the medium.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, redshift and blue shift for light as well. So how they for stars and stuff. That's what my mind went there somewhere earlier.
Yeah, the difference being when it comes to light, the light speed doesn't change regardless of your motion relative to its emitting source, but the frequency does. Whereas in sound, both the speed and frequency do.
Well, because the speed changes, the frequency has to change because the wavelength remains constant with sound.
Yes.
Yes.
Because you have to remember that the propagating wave has three properties: wavelength, frequency, and velocity.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. The speed of stars are determined by redshift.
Speed of sound is given by the frequency multiplied by the wavelength, right? And if you're traveling towards the source, those wave fronts are going to be hitting you at shorter intervals of time because they don't take as long to get to you because you're actually moving towards those wave fronts, right? And so the frequency does literally increase, and so that means that the speed increases because speed equals frequency times wavelength. Okay, yeah.
And if you're traveling faster than the speed of sound, which we can do, if you could detect the sound coming from the siren, it would sound like it was playing backwards. Which is just kind of cool.
Yeah.
And that's the Doppler effect as opposed to the Doppler effect, which is when bad ideas are coming at you really quick, they sound brighter. It's an important one, that, when you're dealing with flat earthers.
Yeah, you just coined a new word, did you? You can have.
That one's been around for a while.
Who else have we got lined up? This guy.
That guy.
That guy. The pilot guy. I don't know his name. So I have seen a few of his videos where he watches airplane movies or whatever, and then comments on the realistic flight of the plane.
Oh yeah.
He flies Boeing 747 freighter aircraft.
Yes, because they're not in passenger service.
Kelsey's somebody or other.
Yeah. So I'll just clip that over to there so the peanuts can see what I'm reading.
He's not bad, but personally I prefer the channel Mentor Pilot.
Not familiar with that one.
M. Ball needs to, he says, I still see no difference. Yeah. Might have to have a one-on-one with M. Ball.
Invite him to the Discord. We can have a chat afterwards.
Yeah, can you go over to the Discord, Mr. Ball? Most of them should be in my Discord.
I'd have thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
Yeah. I think you've got the power to do that sort of stuff too. These guys that have got the controller thing.
Yeah, so I don't think he's actually.
I'll just put the link out there anyway if anyone out there wants to join the Discord. That was a can.
Hello.
It wasn't beer.
Who's up with Timmy?
Yeah, I was going to say it wasn't beer.
Is it beer o'clock?
Yeah, a bit late for beer o'clock. It's 12:15.
3:15 in the afternoon. Yeah, it could be considered an appropriate juncture. Yeah, but I don't actually have anything.
What time's the Ducks need you tomorrow, Paul?
7:30.
Okay.
Ah, he doesn't use Discord. There you go.
Oh, okay. You don't use it, or you don't know how to? Tab. it's tab. Yeah. No, we haven't got MC Toon on here.
Oh, that'd be Toonshine.
Well, he can always come into the Zoom, but that's the only way I could give it to him. He's out there. So the 74 Gear seems to be the name of the channel for this pilot.
Yeah, I can't remember the chap's. Excuse me, I can't remember the chap's actual name.
So in 2021, he posted what I thought would be a simple video for Flat Earth community for them to prove once and for all that the Earth was flat or not. I was wrong, so I've organised a charter to help them prove once and for all the shape of the Earth. If you still believe the Earth is flat, here is your opportunity to find out for yourself. Okay. Oh, and he's on a cheap phone now. Ah.
Oh, John.
Okay. Put it over to that one. Righto.
Airline. Kind of. There's a flight that's considered impossible by some people, and that's this flight here, Buenos Aires to Perth. But I'm going to charter a plane and fly some of you there. I'll explain it all. Coming up. Before crew, welcome back. If you don't know me, my name's Kelsey. I'm a 747
there
pilot.
You go. His name's
my channel,
Kelsey.
74 Gear, is all about aviation. Now, apparently, some people in the Flat Earth community are not a big fan of my channel. They've called me a fraud, among other mean things, and you know I'm super sensitive, so it's time for Flat Earthers to put their money where their mouth is. In 2021, I made a very simple video offering how Flat Earthers could prove the Earth was flat or not without doing crazy laser science experiments. And that was made for everyday people who aren't scientists or engineers, something that anybody can prove for themselves whether the Earth is flat or not. Charter a plane, fly from Argentina down to Australia, and then they can see that we took off, turned south, and that would be it. Seems pretty simple and easy, right? But some people have written me saying I'm not keeping my promises of the challenge to fly them around the world.
Oh, you said you'd be pilot, and you said if we chose your company, but you won't even tell us who his company is. So this is the kind of thing, this is why I said, hold these people's feet to the fire.
But I wanted them to organize the trip, not me. Listen to what I said. Let's get a bunch of flat earthers together that you get at your conventions. You can sell some tickets. Hey, you can even make some profit on it. It doesn't really matter to me, but you can charter this aircraft and go anywhere you want to go. I didn't say I wanted to organize your trip. I said you could organize the trip. You could sell tickets. You could make a profit. I didn't say, oh, let me organize your vacation, because I'm not a travel planner. I'm a pilot. And essentially what that means is when I go to work, I show up to my plane, everything's been fixed, the flight plan has been worked out for me. I show up, walk on the plane, verify that everything on the plane is safe, that we have all the documents that we need, and then I safely fly that plane from one place to another place. That's all I do. Not involved in tickets, selling stuff, handling bags, fueling up the aircraft, none of those things. And I'm not involved in organizing other people's travel plans. And that's why I said you could organize the flight. But apparently that message got lost, and they heard me saying, oh, let me organize your flight. I want to plan it all for you, and I'll fly the plane for you.
What,
That's
Flat
what
Earth
they
and
heard. The Flat Earth community is able to organize Flat Earth conferences, or whatever these are called. So I thought it'd be easy for them to coordinate their own flight. But I was wrong, and I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, and it's all right. I organized it for you. Now I got a lot of different messages of, we should start here, I want to start here, we should end back where we started, we should do it like this, I want to do this. And so it got very confusing, but there was one consistent message that I got from everybody, and that was this. This is the undoable flight to the Flat Earth community. It's Buenos Aires to Perth, Australia. Now I made this a straight line, but this is not a flight plan. So it took me a bit of legwork to find somebody who had the plane that had that type of range, the availability, the crews, because they're going to have to fly to Buenos Aires with a whole crew, land there empty, and then they're going to have that crew layover and then prepare for the flight back, which is going to be roughly 16 hours. Now, since I have a regular job that I sometimes vlog about, like in this one, I can't coordinate everything myself. So included in the costs are funds for me in order to hire some people to organize everything because I have a regular job, and hire a documentary crew because you better believe I'm going to document this entire thing. Now I have to give the Flat Earthers credit here because some of them do believe there is a massive wall there. So if they believe that this flight is impossible and they're willing to fly down to Buenos Aires and think about risking their life to get on a plane, get way outside their comfort zone and take off to fly south, I have to respect that. I have to respect anybody who's willing to do something way outside their comfort zone and have it recorded, like our friend Stella here.
Pull it back a little bit more.
To be clear, I'm the one that's chartering this aircraft and you're coming along as my guest, which means that I have the rights to record everything. You're getting no points, no lounge access, nothing. You're going to have to organize getting yourself down to Buenos Aires, and then you'll have to worry and make sure that you have the visa and necessary paperwork in Perth, and then worry about getting yourself from Perth to wherever it is that you live. Because I know there's flat earthers from all over the world, so I wanted to make it easy. All you have to do is get yourself to this one location, and we're going to do one flight together. You can organize your hotels, getting to and from the hotel, and getting to the airport, and from the airport
that
to
sounds
Perth,
like too much
organize all that stuff on your own,
for
because I'm not going to coordinate a 6-day around the world trip. I don't have time for that. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not flying the plane, and pilots don't control the flight path anyways. That's set up by dispatchers. So this is just a point-to-point line. I'm not saying that's the route we're going to fly. What I can tell you is that we're going to take off from Buenos Aires, we're going to be flying south, and we're going to end up in Perth. The flight's going to be roughly 16 hours, which is not possible on your flat Earth map. I think I read somewhere that someone said that it would be roughly 30 hours on this flat Earth map. Something that's important if you are going to plan to come and be a guest on this flight is that you purchase yourself a southern hemisphere compass, because the compasses in the southern part of the world are different than the northern part of the world for the round Earth people. But just for you flat Earth people, I would buy a southern hemisphere compass so that way you can see as we take off, we're going to be flying south, and you can prove that we're not on some extreme rocket ship shooting across the flat Earth globe. So I planned this flight in October because I wanted to give myself time to coordinate everything, give you all time to raise the funds necessary to do this flight, and also because in October it will be springtime in the Southern Hemisphere, and I'm not trying to go when it's extremely cold, so I'm planning it to be in the Southern Hemisphere time of spring of October. Because if I waited until November, December, people would say, oh, it's too close to the holidays. So I picked October. I thought that would give time for everybody, time for you to go spend time with your family. Middle of October shouldn't interrupt anyone's family plans, so they should be able to make it. Now, if you were planning on coming on this trip just so you could hang out with me, I want to remind you, I'm not even 100% sure that I'm going to be able to go. Because I don't have vacation during that time and I don't know what my schedule is going to be in October. I'm going to try to go. Absolutely, I'm going to try to go because I want to be there and I want to be and see the documentary, and I really want to go to Perth because Perth has these cute little things as soon as I get there. And since there are some flat earthers that also have YouTube channels, I'm very excited to see their videos explaining how I was able to get a bunch of people in Texas to talk with an Australian accent and convince their dogs to jump around on 2 feet. I created a Kickstarter campaign, and the thing that I like about Kickstarter is that it's all or nothing. Meaning if we don't raise enough funds, nobody has to pay anything, myself included. The other thing you need to realize is that people are pledging money when they do a Kickstarter campaign. That means there will be people who will say, oh, I'll give $5,000, thinking that it will never get funded. And in doing so, that $5,000, when it comes time to pay up, there will be people who say, I'm not going to pay. And that means just because the target got met, it doesn't necessarily mean that everyone's going to actually commit and pay the money. Unless we have the money, we're not going anywhere. Now, it also means that until we have the money, I can't secure the aircraft. What I'm planning on is October 20th. I picked October 20th because, well, I honestly was going to pick October 13th because it's International Skeptics Day or something like that, but I picked October 20th. That's going to make it more easy and more likely for me to be able to bid my schedule in order to have that time off to do this flight. So that is when I'm planning to organize this flight. Now, I think it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway since I received a lot of messages about this, why I didn't organize this sooner. One, I thought you all were going to organize it in the Flat Earth community, but since you chose not to, I said, okay, I'll do it once Perth opens. Now, Western Australia has been closed for a long time. Ask any of the people that are in Perth or Western Australia, they've been trying to get out of prison for a while. And now that it's open, I wanted to give it a little bit of time to make sure it was going to stay open before I organized this flight. I was actually working on this last year, but then Perth, I think they were going to open and then they decided not to open, and then now they did open, and so now we're doing this. Part of Australia was opened up, but this side, Western Australia, was not open, and Perth is in Western Australia. Now, October is a long time away, so if something changes, like a new strain of COVID comes out, or the borders close, or there's some seating capacity rules that get changed, I don't control any of that. Just like I'm not controlling the plane, I am just chartering this aircraft and organizing it and flying as a normal passenger. So if any of that stuff changes, I have no say or control over that. I also can't confirm the date because these people aren't going to reserve the plane and the crew until I pay some money, and no offense, but I'm not going to give them a huge chunk of money until you all have given me the money. Then I'll go give them the money to do this flight. So that date's not confirmed. Once all the money's been raised and the money's been paid, I'll go reserve the aircraft. They'll organize the crew and the plane and get all that stuff locked in. So that's when it's going to get firm. Luckily, you have a lot of people in the Flat Earth community, like this guy, with huge chunks of cash ready to donate for this flight to happen. I'm going to be honest, Flat Earth people, there's a lot of people who don't think you all will raise the money to do it. I'm hoping that you do, because I want to go on the flight, I want to make the documentary, I want to go to Perth. So I want to do all those things. I'm cheering that you guys are going to make it. If you're planning on coming on this flight just to hang out with me, just so you know, I want to be really clear, I've done these 16-hour flights before. I'm not a huge fan of them. I'm going to be riding as a passenger, which means I'm going to eat my meal, which is going to be included in the price. I'm going to eat my meal, and then I'm going to try to go to sleep, because I'm not trying to be awake for 16 hours, and I already know the shape of the Earth because I've seen it. My advice to any of you that are planning to do this flight, and if you're planning to really seriously do it, I'd plan on going down to Argentina, spending a couple days there in Buenos Aires. It's a really cool city. Spend a couple days there. Then you're there, you're rested, you're ready to do the flight. You can stay up for the whole flight and look out the window and do whatever you want to do within reason, obviously, on the flight. Then you're going to land in Perth, and then when you're there in Perth, there's a lot of cool things that you can go see. like these quokkas. That's the thing that I really want to see out there, but that will give you the chance to rest, and then you can spend a couple days there in Perth, and then you can go to the other side of Australia before you fly out, because a lot of the international flights come out of Sydney. And because you're able to organize these types of meetings, I'm hoping you're able to organize and raise these funds. So this is the total amount of money that you need to raise. The link to the Kickstarter campaign is right there in the description. You can go in there and be a part of this thing, and you can either come ride the plane or you can donate just to see that it happens. Like I said, I'm going to make some money on it, but I also have money set aside for there to be crews to help organize it, because I'm not going to do it, and documentary people, because I don't know how to do that. As you can see, the best I got is a camera in a hotel room. That's kind of the realm of my abilities of documenting something. So I'm going to get some professionals to put this thing together. I think it's going to be really cool. If you want to see the first Flat Earth video that I ever did, check out this video here. And if you want to see a group of people who I'm pretty sure I could convince that the Earth was flat based on their other ideas that they have, check out this video up here. I look forward to hearing from you. Until then, keep the blue side up.
Yeah, I like that one too, Phil. The dog jumping on two legs.
Mm.
Well, somebody put a link out there of...
I've just watched it. His response is basically to play half the video and then loop backwards and forwards on a couple of bits.
What a surprise.
With his stupid music in the background.
I'm going to say that the offer couldn't have been more simple, could it?
What, the Dave Weiss one you're talking about, that video?
No, Kelsey's one.
So it's time for Flat Earthers to put their money where their mouth.
Yeah, the Dearth
It's
one.
basically, that's just him hacking backwards. If you go a little bit further, go to about a minute. It's only a minute 36, so 2/3 of the way through.
There's bits there.
Yeah, that's still the original video.
Yeah, we hadn't heard that bit.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
The bit just then when we were hearing it on Kelsey's
Yeah,
one.
so Dirth's entire video is just segments cut out of the video we just watched.
Oh.
But if you go to about a minute, he starts looping backwards and forwards between two parts of the video.
Okay, I thought we might be able to get the original Dearth video of when they were actually speaking about all this.
No, this is just a standard Dearth hack job.
So I'm guessing that original video, that's Sharon's
play it from there,
isn't it? Baby Truther.
As a trip, you can charter this aircraft and go anywhere you want to go. If you choose my airline to charter the 747 from, I will volunteer to fly that aircraft, and we can all be Christopher Columbus for a few days.
I want to hear the
with a basic flight plan of where to go so you can prove or disprove your theory. But I wanted them to organize the trip, not me. If you choose my airline to charter the 747 from, I will volunteer to fly that.
That's just a repeat of what we just watched, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, he's just cut a couple of bits together to try and show that the pilot guy is lying or something.
Yeah. I thought we might have got. Yes. I thought we might have got that actual that bit.
There's no commentary. There's no voice. There's no nothing. It's just literally cuts out of the video from Kelsey.
I mean, essentially, the first offer was charter a plane from the company I work for to organise a flight,
and I'll fly it.
And I will do what I can to make sure I'm the pilot.
And of course, they're bitching in the comments about how they asked him which company it was, and he wouldn't answer or something. I don't believe them, because I don't believe they even asked, because they're flat earthers and everything they say is a lie. So
yeah,
screw those clowns.
Oh yeah, Flat Earth Banjo. He said we could book this flight with his company, and when asked what his company was, he told Jaren to go and find another company.
I don't believe them.
I can't figure that one out. They'll worm their way out of it somehow by cherry picking and misrepresenting whatever was offered.
Oh yeah, there's no way they're going to do it.
No.
They're not between them going to raise $1.5 million to charter this flight. It's not going. I mean, the Kickstart has got some money pledged to it, but I think it's only something like $30,000-$40,000. I mean, they've not even scratched the surface.
And honestly, I think it's more likely that Globers will pledge to it to see it happen, and none of the flat earthers will show up. No. We could raise the money for them. Not one of them would do a damn thing to actually get on the plane.
Yeah. I mean, if I had the money and you could arrange with them that they could actually pass over the pole.
Yep.
I probably would. I'd probably consider that to be an option. Because.
Oh, but don't you know that you're not allowed to fly over the pole because of the international treaty? Or something.
Yeah.
Well, the penguins.
You'll
with
get
the
attacked by
lasers
penguins.
Yeah, they'll shoot you.
Yeah.
Down.
Yeah, but since I've had my 3 COVID jabs, my wireless connection for controlling the penguins is
on the fritz.
Is working fully now. So there's no way they're gonna shoot us down. Not if I'm on the aircraft.
Cool.
The penguin exclusion field.
I've got a 14-minute from Mr. Sensible. I don't know who he's talking about it in his video.
Is that the one that was fresh off the press yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah.
I know who that's about.
Okay. Can we go straight to their video instead of Mr. Sensible? Would that be possible? If you know who it is.
You might want to watch Mr. Sensible's video.
Okay. Because I can see somebody in there that we might know. If that's part of that one at the end. Okay.
Hello.
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 Hey, mate.
How's your
Hi,
trip
today we visit Dunning-Kruger University.
2 degrees Celsius weather.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me mute over here on Discord.
Where I don't know where you are.
There.
Where are you?
There. That'll be. Now I think I got everything turned off. It ought to be off. I think.
Just turn everything off.
I don't know.
You can't hear anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
what I do.
That's how it works.
Yeah, all is well.
Okay. What else have we got here? Blue Marble Live went for 3 hours and 7 minutes.
Ooh.
Any particular time on your live stream that you had some derp?
Maybe there's always some derp. I think we have a magnificent selection of rumpus. If you'd like some of that,
that'd be utter boring.
I don't know what you got, Terry. What have you watched?
Not a lot of choices at the moment. I've only found Mr. Sensible's. How dense is a flat Earth? What else is there? MC Toon's debate. What was that one?
Have you played Nathan yet?
Yeah.
Oh yes. You missed out on Nathan. Well, would you like to hear Nathan again?
Yeah. No, that's all right. I've already heard him. Already heard him. Thank you very much.
Terry?
Hey?
Blue published another Brian's Logic versus LIGO?
Oh, Bev?
No, Bev versus LIGO, yeah, even.
How long ago? Because I'm still scrolling back through the.
A couple of days. We didn't get around to it on Saturday.
Oh, is that the?
Was it Sunday?
That's the 24-minute one. Yeah.
Oh, that's 24 minutes, is it?
I think.
What?
I got Eric Dubake says Cavendish can't be repeated. Did we watch that one?
Yeah. I think we did.
That's a 9-minute one. Yeah, oh, that's right. Yep, he was reading that from that. Okay, so I've gone back too far.
Okay.
Haven't even got. What happened to Flat Earth Tuesday? I haven't got any. Have I got any?
No.
No, it's Flat Earth Friday, and it's
Tinfoil Tuesday.
Tinfoil Tuesday.
Yeah.
And Tinfoil Tuesday was Matt. I have a giant inflatable banana in my garden. Pow.
Yes, it was.
Instead of the intended
Dr. Peel.
Instead of the intended target of his very good buddy now, former prisoner Ken Hogarth.
Yeah, Simon. Yeah, Creationist gets things embarrassingly wrong. That's not too bad. I'll grab that for now. One more.
It's not happening. But if you're lucky, Cat, eventually I'll get a bigger desk and there'll be room for you.
Okay.
Well, that's the problem, is it?
Yeah, I've got paper over here. I've got paper and whatnot here. I just haven't got room for a cat to curl up and sort of rest herself against my arm. There just isn't the room, and she's not having it. Oh yeah. No.
Ancient
Not a lap, or isn't there enough room for the flops on the lap either?
Neither of them like sitting on laps. They're not lap cats.
I've got an Everett that goes for 3 minutes. Flat Earther explains the solstice.
That's
I don't think it goes for 3 minutes. So.
And the one previous to that as well.
Is there?
Yeah.
I'll scroll back up. I might have went past it.
He's done a couple at least in the last few days.
Flat Earther calculates distance to sun.
Yeah, good luck making any sense out of that one.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll grab.
Well, see, I already know that the title's a lie because it says Flat Earther calculates.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not Lindsay, but it's. You're doing well if you can hear what he says, and if you can hear what he says, it still doesn't make any bloody sense anyway. It's up there with Lindsay insofar as he's on the whiteboard and it's like, what what what's that then? But yeah, it's an awful video.
MC Toon did a 3-hour 38 video, the epic return of Scotty Storm, and guess what happened?
That was still live when I got up and went downstairs for breakfast this morning.
And guess who didn't turn up?
And Scotty Storm didn't.
No, he didn't show.
The epic non-return of Scotty Storm. Yeah. Let's build my Discovery. Let's build Hubble and Discovery Space Shuttle. At least I found out why there were bits missing from my number 2 bag of bits for the same kit.
Oh yeah, what's that then?
Because there's 2 bags labelled number 2.
Ah. Ah, what a cunning plan. Let's carefully label all of the bags and label 2 different ones the same. Yeah, well done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the
Could
only
you
other...
pin a tail on that plan?
Sorry, Mum?
If it's a cunning plan, can we pin a tail on it? Call it a weasel.
You put tail on and call it a fox.
That's pretty cunning.
With a degree in cunning from Cunning University.
That's the one.
Okay.
Good old slack bladder.
Finish off on Simon. And I'll give you 3 Everetts, a Simon, a Mr. Sensible.
Oh, and of course it was
yeah.
wasn't it?
There we go.
Sorry, you cut out there, Alan.
It was Anzac Day on Monday, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was. It was indeed.
Yeah, we get a public we get a public holiday.
And Paul's just realised he was muted.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, why don't you get? Why don't you get?
Where you going picking videos, Terry? We're going to be here till 4 o'clock in the morning, man.
I mean, it is 20 to 1 here, you know.
It is quarter to 1.
Ah, Jumanji.
I was going to say, it's 3:45 here. Bloody hell.
Well, we'll have to pick one of Everett's then. So, Flat Earth, obvious giants. Flat Earther calculates distance to Sun. Or Flat Earther explains solstice.
Well, why don't you do the oldest one first and then save the other 2 for
another time?
Saturday.
Yeah.
The oldest one would be 26, 27. Alright, 25th. Flat Earth obvious giants. Okay. That's that one sorted. Now, we've still got a Mr. Sensible for 13 minutes and a Simon Dan for 12 minutes. So that'll be it. And you'll be in bed before quarter to 3 tonight, Paul.
I'll be in bed well before then. Because I'm not staying up past 2, Terry.
Well, we've already been going for what, 2.5, so this should just make it for 3. I could always put him to Lindsay speed. We always have that opportunity of getting a flurfer in, Paul, to have a conversation with instead of watching videos.
That'd be lovely if we could do that. I'd like that.
Just can't seem to reel them in.
Press pump.
Yep. Unmute. As long as there's no music. I said no music.
Yeah, but Everett always has music.
Yeah.
Doggy dog in the mofo. How's it going, people? Check this fucking spark plug out, yeah? Look at this spark plug, my friends, yeah? That is one humongous spark plug. Yeah? It's
a what?
Cathode rod.
Did you say what? Spark plug?
I'm sorry, I just started hearing really loud circus music in my head. What did you say?
It is part of the energy. Look, we came past here on the bus. Look at all these spark plugs over there. There's a college over there, yeah? I'm going to go and check that out as well. But look at this, my friends. You see all the pyramids on the top. This is for the acoustics. Yeah. It's absolutely fantastic. The weather vanes are actually collecting energy from the ether. Yeah.
The ether.
Look at this doorway. You telling me this doorway was built for me, built for you? I think not.
Well, that's because you're an idiot.
Yeah, I'm 5'9". Yeah, there's, or at least two of me there. At least two of me. Yeah, these were built by giants, my friend.
So is he saying that he's short?
Oh shit!
They were definitely not built by human hands. Nephilim. I mean, look how tall the windows are. Why would you need windows so tall if you're only flipping? I only come here. I can barely look out the window. Twice my height. Twice my height.
Gee, I wonder if the floors might be slightly different to the ground he's standing on. Do you think? Maybe.
It makes no fucking sense!
Do you ever notice how tall these buildings are? Here, if you were only 5'9", and our race was supposed to be younger, like we're smaller, like in history, isn't it? Why would we build doorways this big? You know what I mean? Like 15 foot. You wouldn't, would you? Because these weren't built by us. These weren't built by us. They were built by the Tartarian race.
What are you retarded?
Yeah, and these are actually cathodes. Cathode rods. You know cathedrals? Do you know cathedrals? Yeah, cathedrals. It's another word for cathode. Cathode rod. They're like magnetic. That's what it is.
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit. Fuck. Oh my.
I mean, look at this. This doorway's been shut. You know, why would you have doors this big? It's to get giants in.
Okay. Whatever you say.
Nephilim. Giants. Wow.
Have you been drinking paint? No. Let me see your tongue.
Oh my god, dude!
Look at these doorways, man. Yeah.
I'm not crazy. My mother had me tested.
Upstairs must be for the smaller people. This downstairs is definitely for the giants.
That was the biggest load of crap I've ever heard.
Spark plugs. Don't spark plugs. Yeah. Cathedrals are cathode.
Now I know where the word cathode comes from.
Yeah, that's not where cathode comes from. No.
Ah, okay.
No, it's to do with cat ions.
Yeah.
The cat ions.
Or cations. Cations.
No, cations.
Yeah, there's a very good reason that these buildings
and onions
have very
the
big
fried
yields.
onions. I want fried onions.
Fried green onions.
No, I like red onions.
I don't. He's completely missed over the point that these old buildings had very large doorways that generally lead into courtyards, and they weren't for people to walk through them.
It was for something else with four legs.
They were for the horse-drawn carriages that were being let through, and they tend to be considerably higher than the bloke on his feet.
And
that's why they're big and wide to let the bloody carriages through.
And big windows for sorry, Alan.
I was going to say, and I don't know, Victorian public buildings, big because you want them to be impressive.
Yes, and big windows to let more light in.
That's what I was going to say.
Because back then their lighting wasn't quite as good as ours is now, and you can't beat a bit of natural sunlight except when it's coming in on your computer screens.
Exhibit A on your screen right now.
There you go. It's there's a sun up there somewhere, but I can't bloody see it.
Is it behind the grey stuff like it is here then?
Yes, completely and utterly. There's Mr. Blue Sky cannot be seen today.
I'm guessing that the whole of southern England is covered in this big grey cloud then.
Quite possibly, yes. I suspect it is.
And you can always if you get a blind, you can always pull it down to block out the sunlight.
Don't. Yeah.
How long you lived there?
6 years. Do you know, in 6 years that these curtains have very rarely been opened, and it was just that moment when I thought, how can I matter? Oh, hang on a minute, what's that up there? Yeah. I suspect 6 years ago, I knew it was there and then promptly forgot about it.
Wonder what else is lying around that you've forgotten it's there.
I don't know, but I've never been in the loft.
Okay.
I was going to say, you probably noticed it when you put them net curtains up.
No, they're already there. The only I had to put up curtains in my bedroom because it had these crappy net curtains and blinds, and the blinds are awful, and the curtains did nothing to block the light out. So I've put up some decent heavy duty, what do they call it? It's supposed to
rubber
block
back
all the light
ones,
out,
insulated ones.
No, there's a blackout curtains, and they still don't quite, but they cut most of it out. And also had to put some different curtains up downstairs in the lounge because they've got the same thing. They've got these things that it's got like a bay window, and these awful curtains followed it round. And the other cat was forever getting in between them and the glass, and they just got getting so much cat hair on them, and they were crap anyway. I thought, right, I'll put a temporary solution up. Nothing's drilled into plasterboard. It can all be taken back down again without damaging the plasterboard because it's not my house. But this room, I never bothered. These curtains are, that's what was up there already. But yeah, I think I knew the blind was there, and then over the course of the years, just forgot about it until I discovered it again last week.
Can we get away with Lindsay's speed? Mr. Sensible?
You can try it, yeah. I mean, I don't see why not.
Today we visit Dunning-Kruger University, where Professor Flatsoid FE is going to teach us about density. What could go wrong?
What indeed?
Knowledge is great, and sharing that knowledge is wonderful. So it's with great pleasure that I noticed that Flatsoid FE had a video out teaching us all about density. He actually does tell us a couple of things that are correct at the start, but then it sort of goes downhill the rest of the way. Well, you better show us what you got, Flatsoid.
Easy.
A bit of a stumble at the start there, Flatsoid, because it's mass times gravitational acceleration that actually defines weight. But let's let you continue. Good question, and one that's been much on my mind in recent weeks.
Density can be described using this equation. D for density equals the mass, which is the substance, divided by the volume, which is the container. So you would know that the mass, the substance which is crammed inside that limited volume space, gives you the density.
Well, it's actually rho equals m over v, Flatsoid, but yeah, that's basically right. The mass divided by the volume gives you the density. Good start.
For something to be denser or less denser, you'd first have to imagine the volume. Then see this container holding substance inside it. Now you see another container also holding substance inside it. The denser one has just got more of that substance crammed inside of that space, where the less denser has less substance crammed inside that space.
Well, that's a bit of a wobbly description, but basically right. For two identical volumes, the one with the most mass is the denser.
Yes, that is correct. Yes, that is correct. Yes, that is correct.
No, Flatsoid, that is not correct. If I have two objects, let's say a steel ball bearing and an entire wheel of cheese, the wheel of cheese will be heavier, but the ball bearing is denser. You can only make your claim if the two objects are the same size and volume as well.
That's correct. Let's take two of the same balls. One is a tennis ball and one is a cue ball. Same size, denser one is the cue ball. There's more substance crammed into that space, so it's heavier, has more weight.
There you go, Flatsoid, you're learning. Those two objects are the same size, one is denser than the other, therefore that one is the heavier.
Let's show a demonstration. Here we have two identical 5-litre containers. One is a clear coat and one is a thinners. Here we have a scale. We're going to test to see which one is denser and heavier.
Okay, experiment time.
First, we'll take the thinners. Placing on the scale. And you see it is 5-litre thinners. Yes, 5 litres, and it comes up to 4761.6 grams. Okay, this is the 5-litre clear coat. You can see it says the clear coat 5 litres. What does it weigh? 5411.3 grams. So clearly you can see the clear coat is more denser and thus it has more weight.
Well, that's a bit sloppy again, Flatsoid, but the general idea is okay. I mean, we need to be sure that there is the exact same amount of liquid in each can, and really, you should have measured the weight of an empty can first. But basically, yeah, that's okay.
Yes, the medium definitely has a huge role when it comes to the ratio of density in an object.
No, Flatsoid, the density of an object will remain the same unless you change its mass or change its volume. The density of that 8 ball will always be the same, whether you put it in water, you put it in air, a vacuum, or you decide to convert it into a ball gag.
Now let's take a ping pong ball and a rubber ball. Which one do you think is denser?
Oh, I know!
Obviously the rubber ball.
Yes!
Now place them both in an atmospheric environment, air. They will both fall to the ground. Now place them both in another medium like water. They are both going to float.
Yes, but I bet you haven't got the faintest idea why, have you?
You see, the reason for this is because the ping pong ball and the rubber ball are both denser than the air around it. As soon as they are placed in water, the water is denser.
In both cases, Flatsoid, those balls are falling. The difference is that in the air versus the water, there is much, much less buoyant force counteracting the weight.
Tell us more of how your balls are going to drop.
Okay, now let's take that same rubber ball that we just took out of the water that was floating. What do you think would happen if we had to stick it inside a vacuum? Correct, it will fall. Why? Because the air around it is not able to support the density of the ball.
Yes, of course, Flatsoid, because in a vacuum chamber there is virtually nil buoyant force. Even a helium balloon would fall to the bottom. Now think of ships and liners. They're made of metal, a very dense material, and yet they float. The reason is their hulls displace an awful lot of water, meaning that there's a large amount of buoyant force counteracting their weight.
But this ship can't sink. She's made of iron, sir. I assure you, she can.
Well, I've come across a great demonstration.
Great, a demonstration.
Great demonstration showing exactly how the medium affects the density of the weights.
That you totally failed to understand. You better show us this demonstration. I shall say wrong, and then afterwards explain why. Go ahead.
Take note that this is the measured density in air.
Wrong.
And this is the measured density in liquid.
Wrong.
Can you see the difference already?
Wrong.
Now he's going to compare that to another weight that he had set by there. Can you remember what the previous one was in air? Okay, and now the new one also in the liquid. And yeah, it's just showing the density differences between those two weights.
Well, Flatsoid, I think you did not actually have the faintest idea of what that machine was doing. To find out what it actually was doing, I think we need to go back to some Italian dead dude called Archimedes. Archimedes. Legend has it that Archimedes had his eureka moment as he got into the bath and water overflowed. So let's take a container and put some water in it. Now, if we take an object and then submerge it in that water, the water level goes up. By the amount of volume of the object has displaced that water. So let's take that object out the water and fill our container to the brim and have a second container to catch the overflow. Then, when we submerge our object, the water level goes up, overflows, and is caught in that second container. That container contains the exact amount of water that has been displaced by that object. Now, if you have weighed that object previously and found it to weigh 20 grams and it has displaced 10 cubic centimetres of water, boom, you've got your density, 20 divided by 10, 2 grams per cubic centimetre. And that is why this object sinks. Its mass, 20 grams, is greater than the mass of the volume of water it displaces, 10 grams. You can think of it as a set of scales, with a 20 gram object on one side and the 10 grams of water on the other. Obviously, the 20 grams wins and goes down. So let's take a second object with the same volume, but only weighing 5 grams. It's less dense. As we submerge that in water, it starts displacing the water until it is displaced exactly 5 grams of water, and then the force going down is equal to the force pushing up, the weight of the displaced water, the buoyant force, and it floats. Well, Flatsoid, this is all
tickety-boo.
Unfortunately, you had no idea what that guy was doing in that video, so let's break it down. What the machine is a very fancy set of scales. It consists of a sensor or sensors that surround a supported container of liquid. At no point is the container of liquid weighed. On the measuring sensor is an outer container together with a lid. From the lid hangs a support or basket which protrudes down into the water. The tare is set, zeroing the scales, and we're ready to begin. Our object is placed on the lid. Its mass is pressing on the lid down through the walls to the level sensors, and a weight reading is taken. Next, the weight is placed on the basket submerged in water. Its mass is pulling on the basket, pulling on the lid, down the walls, to the sensors, and its weight while submerged in liquid is taken. The second weight reading is less. Although the mass, volume and density of the object have not changed, the weight of the object pulling downwards is partly counteracted by the buoyant force caused by the mass of the water that the object has displaced. So now we've seen the principle, let's have another quick look at the video. Okay, what we actually have is 2 ingots of aluminium, one of which was melted in air and allowed to cool, the second of which was spun while it was melted and then allowed to cool in vacuum to degas it. We want to compare the densities. Well, this is quite quick and sloppy really, but he weighs it in air and gets a weight of approximately 92.4243 grams. He then weighs it again in the liquid. The new weight registers as 56.4543. Now the mass, volume and density of that ingot has not changed. The reason it registers a lower weight is that that ingot is being partly supported by the buoyant force of the water it has displaced. So if you deduct the new weight, 56.43, from the original weight, you get the weight of the water it has displaced, about 35.97. Since water is 1 cubic centimetre per gram, we know that that is also the volume, 35.97. So if you take the initial mass, 92.42, divide it by that displaced volume, 35.97, boom, you've got the density, 2.5668 grams per cubic centimetre. He does the same with the second ingot, and if you notice, Flatzoid, that measurement is in grams, not grams per cubic centimetre. It's the weight of the ingot, not the density. The density is calculated from the 2 weights, one in air and one in liquid. Oh dear, you done got it wrong. So once again, Flatzoid, I'm afraid that you got it wrong. This really isn't rocket science. This is rocket science.
We have liftoff. We have liftoff at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So will you be able to continue in the University of Dunning-Kruger, or are you going to have to be fired?
Diplomatic community.
It's just been revoked.
Shut up and sit down.
That's why I like my little diagram of the ping pong ball and the little heavy ball in the liquid on the scales. I haven't got to Flurfer to answer that one yet. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, honestly, some people.
I would like for him to explain to me sometime why some objects will float partially out of the water.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah.
Is the bottom part of the object more dense than the water, and the top part of the thing less dense? I don't get it.
Yeah, this one. This little puzzle.
Oh, that's, yes.
Yeah, I've got calculations for it and everything, and a video explaining it. So the same principle. The buoyant force of the steel ball compared to the ping pong held by the string. I'll let the peanuts figure that one out.
Assuming the same volume of water, I imagine that it would balance.
You think they'd weigh the same?
Hang on.
I'll post it over in the Discord for you.
Yeah.
Oh no, it wouldn't. Sorry, my bad.
What's your guess?
My guess is that the side with the ping pong ball would rise. Oh, Judy wants you to put the image up again.
Oh, okay. I'm just putting a copy of it over in Discord. And I'll grab another. I should have left that open. Was that it? Oh, no, that's the other one. Don't want to leave that one up.
Don Giovanni thinks that the opposite would happen to what I said.
Yeah, there we go. Now the peanuts can see it again.
It's interesting.
Can never remember how to reason this scenario. I'll abstain. Okay. Just think of buoyant force. That's your biggest clue.
Biggest clue is what stuff's attached to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this was a big argument in... Oh, not an argument, conversation when I brought it up a long time ago over in Gems, and went for hours, the conversation for this. I got all the math for it and everything, but I didn't understand that. But when I watched a little video of it, the explanation, and I realised, yeah, that would be right. The mass of the steel ball should not affect the right, while the mass of the ping pong ball is connected to the left. Okay, let's just ponder that one. Okay. Finish off with Simon. That's your homework, kids. Yes, we have had this before, and Blue gave a very good explanation of it.
Hmm.
Oh, Space Matt's out there. What are you doing out there, Space Matt?
Yeah, why aren't you in here, Space Matt?
Ah, there we go. Do we need Simon on normal or?
It's 12 minutes. Work's going to be fun tomorrow.
I could try it on. If it sounds too fast, we'll change it.
Yeah, you can always crank it back again.
Banana in his backyard, which he calls Dr. Peel. Yes, I know, I'm supposed to be doing a Kent Hovind video this week, but I came across a video from Matt Powell Official where he talks about his top 5 proofs for creation based on things from outer space, and I simply had to have a look. Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday with me, Simon and Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Before we begin today, a huge thank you to the sponsors of today's video, MyHeritage. MyHeritage is the leading global service for family history research and DNA testing, and is the #1 ranked family history service in Europe. It's fun and super easy to build your family tree and then discover your origin. Get a 50% discount. So click the link in the description now. Right, back to today's video where Matt Powell Official is about to prove creation once and for all. And he's using things from space. Could this be any more up my street? Really? Has he done the impossible? Will he defeat decades of evidence? And most importantly, will Dr. Peel ever get out from his backyard? Let's find out.
I wanted to do a video about the top 5 proofs of a young universe and just demonstrate that the universe is not 13.7 billion years old like people have said, but that it's actually young and was created recently. And the first reason that we know this is because of short period comets.
Really? You're starting with that one? Comets that have an orbital period of less than 200 years? Great.
Now, if you're not sure what those are, they are balls of ice that are floating about in space right now, and they deteriorate in less than 10,000 years. And so short period comets are all over our galaxy, all over the solar system, and they're going about in an orbit and they are deteriorating over time. And if our solar system was 4.5 billion years old, those things would not even exist. They would have completely deteriorated by now.
Unless, of course, they spent most of that time settled in the Oort cloud quite happily until they were nudged by another body, sending them whirling into the centre of our solar system about 5,000 years ago.
The second proof is simply the planet Pluto.
Well, hang on. Is that it? Okay, well, let me just add here that it's interesting you don't talk about the long period comets, Matt. There is one, Comet Hyakutake, which has an orbital period of 75,000 years. Yet you don't want to talk about that, do you?
Pluto is warm on the inside. Now, if Pluto was from 4.5 billion years ago, when it finally was created back then, it would be freezing cold on the inside. There's no way that something could just stay that warm for that long, for the course of 4.5 billion years.
Well, this has only been theorised at the moment, and the cause is a layer of insulating gas beneath the ice crust. Pluto's primordial radioactive heat would have dissipated long ago, but that layer of gas could be enough to keep things relatively warm, and by that, just warm enough to get liquid water, so a few degrees C.
If you came to my house and saw a hot cup of coffee on the table, you would never assume that that cup of coffee was 4.5 billion years old.
No, because a cup of coffee is 36 million times smaller than Pluto.
I'm sorry, it would have cooled off over the course of just 10 minutes.
Because it's 36 million times smaller than Pluto.
But people have no problem believing that things happen to stay warm for 4.5 billion years. It takes a lot of faith.
Well, the Earth has. Why didn't you pick the Earth? It's roughly the same age as Pluto, so...
The third reason is the planet Saturn. I mean, Saturn's rings are unstable. Saturn's rings are actually dispersing right now as we speak.
Pesky gravity.
And before long, those rings will be completely gone. Now, if Saturn, the planet, and the rings around it were 4.5 billion years old, those rings would have completely dispersed and deteriorated by now.
And how do you know that? Do you know the rate of ring loss, Matt? In actual fact, the rings of Saturn weren't even there 4.5 billion years ago. They weren't even there 1 billion years ago. Cassini, an actual spacecraft which flew amongst those rings, discovered that they are only between 10 and 100 million years old. So there goes that one, Matt.
But they're still there, which means that they were created recently, not billions of years ago.
Which is what I've just said.
The fourth reason is simply stars. Now, a star will die 1 per 25 years per galaxy. And so, if the galaxy was less than 10,000 years old, we would predict to only find about 200 dead stars in our galaxy. And sure enough, that's what we find. We find less than 200 dead stars in the galaxy. If you look at other galaxies, you'll only find about 200 dead stars in each galaxy, which means that if evolution were true and if the evolutionary timescale of billions of years was taking place, you would have hundreds of thousands of dead stars throughout the entire universe.
However, Matt, you are neglecting to mention the dead stars that we do not see, like the one that seeded our solar system, for example.
The fact that you find only 200 dead stars per galaxy literally proves, beyond any shadow of doubt, that the galaxies, and our galaxy in particular, the Milky Way, is a young galaxy.
And of course, I'm sure you can explain to us quite nicely that, given the star death rate of 1 every 100,000 years, your 200 dead stars that we can see gives us an age of roughly 2 million years. Quite a bit past the 6,000 years that you believe is the age of the universe.
Now, the fifth and most powerful reason is actually the magnetic field of the Earth and other planets. See, magnetic fields are actually what keep our planets, and keep the Earth in particular, from being bombarded with space dust.
He, of course, means the charged particles emitted by the sun and cosmic radiation, not space dust.
If the magnetic field was too strong, we would die. If it's too weak, we would die. It has to be just right in order to protect us from issues from outer space or sunlight, deadly radiation coming through. And so the Earth's magnetic field in particular is very important, and it is vital to our survival. The half-life of the Earth's magnetic field is actually 1,400 years.
That is not an accepted scientific fact. That is what creationist scientists have put forward in the past. It is far from accepted.
And so what that means is that every 1,400 years, the Earth's magnetic field gets chopped in half. And so you can only lose so much before you've lost it all. And if the magnetic field gets too weak, like I said, the sun's rays will penetrate the Earth's atmosphere and kill everything on the Earth.
But earlier on you said it had to be just right. So that debunks what you just said. If it's halving at the rate in which you say it is, then right now is the perfect time for us, surely. Anything outside of that, then life can't exist. Your words, Matt. Your words.
With the half-life being only 1,400 years, you take that back, even 10,000 years. If you were to go beyond 10,000 years, the Earth's magnetic field would be so powerful that it would literally kill everything on Earth as well.
Would it, Matt, though? Would it really? Earth's magnetic field strength is about 0.3 Gauss. So your half-life of 1,400 years into 10,000 roughly goes about 7 times. So let's double 0.3 Gauss 7 times. And that gives us a value of 38.4 Gauss. Oh no, not 38.4 Gauss. What are we going to do? 10,000 years ago, our magnetic field would have been so strong that it would have been twice as weak as a fridge magnet. That is an epic fail.
So, no matter how the evolutionists or atheists want to play this game of millions and billions of years, it's not going to go their way. Because truly, the facts are on our side. Observation is on our side. Everything that we see in the solar system actually demonstrates that the Earth, and the universe, and the galaxies, the entire world is young.
Except for pretty much every single observation and experiment that we've conducted. But hey.
It was created recently, and not billions of years ago. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and comment down below. Make sure to give us a good rating because I want this content to get out to the masses.
How's that working out for you?
For people to understand that they were lied to by the public school system and that there's truth in the Lord Jesus Christ. He is the way, the truth, and the life, and His word bears witness with everything that we see around us happening in the world today, even right now. And so, I hope you all enjoyed this video. God bless.
Is there though? Because I don't really see any. Well, there we go. What a brilliant Tinfoil Tuesday that was. Matt Powell tries to move out of his lane and talk about space and he gets thoroughly owned. Right, well, how long is it going to be till a Whack an Atheist response, everyone? What do we think? Put it in the comments and let me know how long it's going to be. Surely not long. Thank you so much for watching today. It truly is appreciated. If you enjoyed it today, please do consider subscribing. That would be hugely appreciated. As I keep saying, we're trying to get to 500,000. And if you really enjoyed it, hit that like button as well. Just enough time to once again thank MyHeritage for sponsoring today. Remember, if you sign up now for a 14-day trial, if you want to subscribe after that, you get a 50% discount. Just click the link.
Blah, 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 blah.
Exactly, Thurston. How are we seeing these galaxies, given the closest galaxy, Andromeda, is over 2 million light years away? The galaxies must have existed for millions of years to see them now.
Correct.
But he's forgetting the one-way speed of light problem.
Ah.
Young Earth creationists are all keen on the fact that, you know, light travels towards us at infinite speed.
Yeah, whatever.
It's their excuse for how we can see things that are too far away for the light to have reached us.
Yeah, but whatever evidence science comes up with, we can respond with.
No,
Except apparently it doesn't because of the transits of the moons of Jupiter that show that it doesn't travel towards us at infinite speeds.
well, we know that, but you know, try and convince them. So we've got a few. I think we've got pretty much all of the options expressed for your buoyancy problem.
Yeah, I've been reading that out there.
9 o'clock hero looks like he's saying my first guess of they would stay the same. Correct me if I'm wrong, 9 o'clock.
Well, I can give you a clue, they won't.
Don Giovanni has the right one. Hang on.
Yeah, no,
I did read it.
I was just scrolling back up.
I just want to make sure I'm not misrepresenting what he
The mass
is
of the
saying.
steel ball should not affect the right, while the mass of the ping pong ball is connected to the left.
Don Giovanni, can you clarify for us, are you saying that the left side would fall because of that, or the right side would?
Yeah, I know, I'm trying to work out what he... Yeah, he's saying the mass of the steel ball is not going to affect the right side at all.
But he forgets
What is the
steel
mass of
ball-
the steel ball doing?
Yeah, and it's doing
displacing
something
water.
with the water. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's doing something.
Yeah, what's it doing?
How can the ping pong ball rise if it's connected with string 9 o'clock? I can admit that somebody out there is getting closer.
All right, so 9 o'clock is saying the left side rises, and Don Giovanni is saying the left side falls. I think that the left side rises.
I think I'll leave it with you as that one, and I'll play the video next time to see who
Sounds like
got
a
it
plan.
right. If they've taken a screenshot of it, it's over in Discord.
Although to be fair, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with getting homework from this channel. Bad enough, Paul making me think while we're here.
And you can
It's
cheat if
very
you want
logical
because...
once you see it.
Sorry, Blue.
No, it's very logical once you see what it's doing. But
Yeah. You can
it's
cheat.
confusing.
You can cheat. It is on out on the YouTubes. The answer for that. If you want to.
Just analyze the forces on both sides, guys, and you'll find out what happens.
No, 9 o'clock. They don't cancel out. I just can't get a flurfer to explain it. That's all. I just ignore it, that one. Oh, I'm just going to say me goodbyes out there.
You're on the right track. Yeah.
So you've got the...
Is it goodbye time?
Yeah, you've got the... what do you call it now? The floor is yours.
Oh, it's okay. It's cheap laminate, but you know.
Yeah, as is mine.
Obviously not my choice, but hey.
Carpet here.
Me too.
I've got carpet in my bedroom.
I totally agree with you, Sir Little Wolf. Flat Earthers can't explain a damn thing.
Nah.
And when they do try to explain something, they get it wrong.
Oh, you got to wonder. You got to wonder. I just got an email about one of these stores we're going to be doing, and so far it's an empty room. It's a big empty room, and the client and the landlord said, "This is where all the existing services are." So the chap's just emailed to say, "Is the drainage in the right place?" I don't know. You haven't designed the layout of the store yet. And he says, "Is there sufficient drainage?" I said, "Yeah, there's a soil stack. That's all we need because there's going to be a toilet and a few drains. That's fine." But it is where it is. So whenever the people who designed the actual store layout come to do back of house where all of this stuff goes, do bear in mind that's where the soil stack is. So it's no good having the soil stack here and then putting everything else all the way over there. What am I supposed to say politely? You know, yeah, the drainage is sufficient as long as they design the layout of the store to match where it is. Because usually they will do what they call a test fit. So we've got an area, because this is how it doesn't work. They've bought a store and it's either a refurb or a new build. So you've got an area, and then they say, right, this is front of house, this is where all the shelves go, this is this is back of house, this is where the warming pantry is going, this is where the freezer going, the chiller room, the toilet, the office, This is where it is. Does this work? And we'll say yes, it does, or no, you need to move the plant around, blah blah blah, and the toilet's nowhere near where the soil stack is, because they have a habit of doing that. Here's the soil stack, I'll put the toilet meters away. You can't do that. So he said, oh, is there sufficient drainage? Yeah, there's a soil stack. Yeah. Don't ask me if it's in the right place, because you haven't designed the store layout yet. Sorry, I'll just get my crystal ball out and have a look, you know. And you just think, oh, I've got to be polite and professional. So I have been, but it's like, you bloody idiot, what are you asking me for at this stage? Why don't you come up with a design first, and then I'll tell you whether we can work with it or not.
So one of the fundamental axioms of science is that the laws of physics are the same everywhere in the universe, right?
Yes.
But oh no, for a flat earther, it's not like that. For a flat earther, the laws of physics are variable, such that the laws of physics are whatever they are in response to the conclusion that I want to draw. So whatever the conclusion is that I want to support, the laws of physics change so that that conclusion can be verified.
Yes. Because they reach the conclusion first.
Yes.
They do everything else about face. This is my conclusion. The Earth, I think the Earth is flat because this, and then you've got to change everything else to suit that conclusion.
Yeah, so let's just make up some laws of physics that allow that to happen.
But
even
can you change the laws of physics?
Even if that's not what we actually see in reality.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, nobody's ever done experiments that verify those laws of physics, have they? No.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Not for the last 2,000 odd years. Nobody's bothered. We've just gone, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because we just make shit up. Because that's what they do, so obviously it's what we do.
Well, they say we do.
Just strange that our made-up shit seems to work and conform with what we see.
Yeah, but we use big words and scientific facts and terminologies that they don't understand.
Yeah, because they're happy.
You're just
because it's only
indoctrinated,
2
man.
syllables. Not it's only 7 letters. I can handle that.
Thurston came to a conclusion, but I can't work out his ping pong ball beaker can be regarded as a sealed box. It will weigh the total of the beaker, water, ping pong ball. Plus gin.
And the air inside the ping pong ball. Don't forget the air inside the ping pong ball. That has mass as well, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're talking about this as an average density across both the plastic and the air inside.
Yeah, I'm just reminding him that if he's going to list the things inside that beaker, there's air in there too, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the air pressure pushing on the beaker itself from outside.
Yeah.
Okay, net force 0, but you know.
Well, yeah, there's a net displacement of air.
Yeah.
Of the beaker
yes,
contents.
Force. Yeah.
The whole beaker assembly has a buoyant force on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Got to think about all that. Put all those forces.
But I don't want to think about all of that. I want it to be simple.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
There you are, Monk.
Yeah.
That help you?
That leaves out lots of stuff. But that's fine. You don't.
It does leave out.
Monk wants to do an engineering simplification. You know, like when they do things like say that all cows are perfect spheres.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. First assume a spherical cow. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do.
Although to be fair, I'm more a computer science guy, so I prefer the cubicle cows because they're easier to stack.
You want, yeah, you're right. You want floating point cows is what you want.
Yeah.
It's like the question of what's the biggest paddock you can make out of a 40-meter length of fencing?
Biggest paddock I can make out of 40-meter length of fencing. So largest area with a circumference of 40 meters.
Yeah.
No, you put the cows on the outside of the fence.
That's cheating. No.
So?
You just declare the paddock. You just declare the paddock to be on the outside of the fence.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
This is the this is the asylum all over again, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's like the whole of the earth except for that area enclosed by the 40 meters is the paddock.
Nice. Nice.
That's thinking outside the box.
Literally. Yeah. You're thinking outside. You're thinking outside the fence.
Yeah.
In that case, you'd want the longest, thinnest arrangement of your things to minimize the internal area. Okay.
Welcome back, Alan.
Sorry, yeah, not feeling too great at the minute.
Oh, that's okay. Well, mine. You can say goodbye now. Thanks, 9 o'clock, Little Wolf, Thurston, Monk, Biggest Doggers, Dora, Rimfondle, 9 o'clock Hero,
Geraniurism,
John, Don Giovanni, Boomer U, Judy.
Judy, yeah, we had a Judy here.
Yeah, Judy.
Did we say for Rimfondle?
M2M. Gotta scroll up further. Alan, Farmer, Dart, Stevie.
Was I here?
Stingray.
I'm only reading out in the side chat. So if you didn't type out in the side chat, you don't get a shout. M-Ball, John Rapp. It's still going. TT guy was here earlier too.
TT guy?
TT guy, yeah.
Facty.
Oh yeah, Facty was there earlier too.
Sean Hawkins was
Dave
earlier.
Cannabis.
He was, yes.
A new
Fred
one,
Bailey.
Randolph Richardson, a newbie. Who else? Fred. Dora. Carl wasn't there. And Clive. I don't think we've seen Clive. There we go.
If we missed out your names, anybody, we are terribly sorry, but it's just us being crap at what we're doing.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
it's me
it.
being crap at what I'm doing. I don't know about Terry.
Clive wasn't here because the quiz wasn't challenging enough.
That's what it was.
Clearly. Yeah.
Yep.
And Dean says goodbye. Oh, we're going over to Discord for 5 minutes while I have a cuppa and fall asleep. Thanks, Alan. Thanks, Carolus Linnaeus. I don't know if I pronounced that right.
And what was he famous for, Terry?
Oh, they got me to. My short-term memory's going to be the death of me.
Something about a naming system.
Yes.
I need more. I need another clue.
He was the one that invented the two-part naming system that we use to classify living things.
Right.
That's taxonomy? Was it taxonomy?
Like Homo sapiens.
His name is not where lineage comes from, is it?
Possibly.
That'd be funny if it was.
Find out the roots of that word.
Oh, thanks, Mark. Thanks, Farmer. Thanks, Blue.
You're welcome.
And on
no,
that
thank
note,
you.
And on that note, night, Peanuts.
Night, all.
I can actually say good night, Peanuts, and get it right this time.
Hey!
Did you want me to stop the stream at the right time this time?
All that practice you've had.
Yep.